Actually, big-time heavyweight tilt. Carolina up 2-0 on Boston there. Flames and Capitals are starting at 2 o'clock. Same with the Canadiens and Blackhawks. Then the 3 o'clock game has the Ducks home to the Senators. Plenty more later tonight. But Hurricanes and Bruins, that's as good of a tilt as you could ask for in the NHL right now.
Well, you get shut out by the Arizona Coyotes like Carolina did. You need so they're up 2-0, like you mentioned, after one period. I mean, you want to bounce back from that. And 14-game schedule, now 13. So 2 o'clock start, Colorado at Nashville, postponed at Bridgestone Arena. There was a big water flood. I don't know, maybe they weren't going to pay anyone time and a half to monitor it yesterday. So the game really got postponed. And they got a game tomorrow they're supposed to play that is could be in peril as well. So, yeah, what I like about today is the games are all staggered.
Smart.
Right? Which Wednesday, we had 15 games, and they all started at 7 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. Eastern. So
can't do it.
This one's spread out, but we're going to, of course, hone in on this one. Marc-Andre Fleury, does he get the kind of return like you had on the Maple Leaf side as well? Goaltender coming back, does it work out that way? First game back, does he play that well? Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. And, it's interesting.
Former teammates.
Well, that's right. And the other interesting part about it as well is that, how much fire there was to the smoke surrounding it. We know the Leafs and Fleury have been linked for the past couple of years. Now, again, whether the Leafs actually had interest or it was just all of us thinking, there's a marquee goalie. So that always adds a little intrigue, especially when Kyle Dubas made the bets that he made this offseason. And, so far, so good. You had the bugaboo where you were hurt early on in terms of Samsonov and Murray, and you're saying, okay, what bad bets to make? But in the time both those guys have been between the pipes, I think I'm feeling pretty comfortable with both of them, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact was last year, because Kyle Dubas did say he took issue with Kyle Davidson with the Chicago Blackhawks. The Kyles were,
the
duel
like
of the Kyles.
Berkey and Lowe.
Yeah, but factually, it was talked about Marc-Andre Fleury coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs. What is not known is, did he nix it, Fleury, because he had the no trade or not. But yeah, they were, and that's still something that might be discussed around the trade deadline this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, Matt Murray and Samsonov, if they're healthy, so far have been positives, but still, that's not out of the possibility.
Yeah, the guy I had circled for their deadline trade was Connor Hellebuyck, and the Jets are playing just a little too well to be giving up on him anytime soon. Other games on the go tonight, Blues and Lightning, that's an 8 o'clock start. Devils on the road with the Sabres trying to get hot again and honestly, probably just best there's a cooling off period, and that game is not in New Jersey, it's in Buffalo there. Although, not throwing any shade at Sabres fans, but we know how Bills fans are. So if it's about getting rowdy and after it, I don't know if that's any better a place. Jackets home to the Islanders at 8 o'clock. Red Wings home to the Coyotes. Kraken on the road in Vegas. Those are all 8 o'clock starts. Stars home to the Jets at 8:30. And then you have the Sharks home to the Kings, wrapping things up 10:30 there. Gordo, again, I would never want this to be the case all the time, but once in a while, it is great to have a little afternoon game. I know it was a staple in years past, and I'm not gonna. I don't want it every Friday, far from it. But once in a while, I think it's a fun little wrinkle to the schedule.
So, I think it is. It's just funny when you don't do it a lot. Sometimes it seems like a sleepy environment, and so let's hope that's not the case for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they've done that game. What they call it, the kids game.
Yeah.
What kid can afford tickets? But anyway, that's what they do. So they'll have one start at Scotiabank Arena during a weekday like that.
Yeah, there it is. Brent Gutting and Gord Stellick, we will continue to get you set for Puck Drop. It's Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pavlov's dog proved that irresistible incentives bring predictable results. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, is proving it again. With perfect staging, pinpoint accurate pricing, intimate Toronto neighborhood knowledge, the Nick Pavlov real estate team will achieve a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Make Make your next career move with 2 Men in a Truck. The company is hiring motivated and enthusiastic team members for mover, driver, and customer service positions. And if you're looking for more, professional advancement is always a possibility. In fact, 75% of 2 Men in a Truck managers started in frontline positions. Now is the time to apply. Visit 2meninatruck.ca and click careers.
2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. Molson Canadian, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's do this!
Break gunning, Gord Stellick here, getting you set for puck drop. Leafs on the road in Minnesota this afternoon. Little programming note for you. Joe Bowen out. Upper body injury. That's all I've been told. John Bartlett, the very capable man. Just like the Leafs, we call in the reinforcements. Next man up attitude, John Bartlett will join Jim Ralph on the call today. Gordo, always love to get your 3 keys to victory. What do you got today?
Yeah, Joe's got the tough pipe, so that's why it's going on. But sorry, that's not one of the keys to victory. I mean, win it for Joe. Let's say that.
That's a key. I'll give that. That's a bonus key, and that one's mine.
Number 3, you could always say it about goaltending, but in the Leafs' case, with the injury-depleted defense, Matt Murray, whoever, has to give goaltending good enough to have a chance to win. Now, he surpassed that against New Jersey. He was a difference maker, but you're going to need that every game now, or you're not going to have a chance. 2 and 1 are about that, having your big 3 defensemen out. Number 2 is do things smartly. Smart, easy plays. Nothing complicated, nothing whatever. Really got to play smart hockey. And number 1, what they did really well against New Jersey is, okay, you don't want to play in your own zone, particularly when you have the green defense back there. So I like the way they pushed it a bit, which seems to go against number 2. But as far as breaking up plays in the offensive zone, breaking up plays in the offensive blue line, breaking up plays in the neutral center, they were a little bit more smartly aggressive doing that against New Jersey, and that's what you want to see continue for this one, and while they have this injury-ravaged defense core.
Smartly aggressive, I like that. That's exactly what they're going to have to be, especially, similarly to how they had to play with Shalgren between the pipes earlier on. You have to change your style a little bit. You cannot take as many gambles, and I think that is just exactly the same now that you're as kind of hammered on the blue line as you are. Victor Mete drawing back in tonight. It won't be Jordy Ben. He is banged up, so it's him and Hollowell on your third pair. And, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a good thing that those guys are your third pair. It is not. But the good news is you will find out what you have in those guys. So if you need to go find another 8th defenseman or another 7th defenseman as the year trucks along, you're getting to find out things about these players. Mete a little less so because he was already getting in games. But Hollowell, this is a chance I quite frankly didn't think he would get if he didn't have all these injuries.
No, and as you mentioned, Connor Timmins is there and ready to play at some particular point, maybe as early as tomorrow. So that's been another depth piece. But I love guys that are able to seize the opportunity, seize the moment when who would have thought the start of the year that it would line up this way, that they would get that kind of chance.
Well, and hey, credit where credit's due. A guy I didn't expect to seize the opportunity that's been in front of him is Dennis Malgin. I know he got bumped out of the lineup the other night, but I think that was just kind of Keith wouldn't say it, but it's kind of a rotation, keeping guys fresh thing. He hasn't deserved to come out, quite frankly, and I've been surprised by that. So you need to find some found money. It's not always going to be, your Michael Bunting, a guy who is, a guy who's running away with, Calder scoring leader, that kind of thing. But you need some found money in the bottom of the lineup as well. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. Again, John Bartlett on the call this afternoon alongside Jim Ralph. Leafs on the road in Minnesota looking for a second straight win and hoping they don't get pelted with any garbage. That would be nice. We will be back for the first intermission. Keep listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The biggest question about this team is the goaltending. They've got an all-new tandem. Will it hold?
Hey, it's Merrick here. You're in my head. 2 things you got to know. 1, I asked the better questions on the podcast. And 2, I got the better hair.
But I just want to see how the goaltending holds up.
32 Thoughts, the podcast, is brought to you by the new Sierra AT4X. With a factory-installed 2-inch lift, off-road suspension, and massaging front seats, you can explore the backcountry in luxury. Visit gmccanada.ca to see the Sierra AT4X today.
Crestwood Preparatory College inspires excellence in academics and sports.
It's a school where teachers make the difference.
A school that builds a student's confidence, develops effective study habits, and encourages creativity.
A school that enhances the traditional classroom setting with leading-edge technology, connecting students with the world around them, resulting in admission to the best universities.
When your child feels safe and respected, it gives them the confidence to take risks on and off the ice. Book a private tour at crestwood.on.ca.
When they go low, we go low. I'm Mark Mandelson, and it's Black Friday at Bay Bluer Radio. Our lowest prices of the year on top-rated Sony OLED TVs. I love my Sony, and I've got one for you, too.
When they go fast, we go slow. Personal attention, expert advice, one customer at a time. In-store, online, or on the phone.
There's only one Bay Bluer Radio. The right sound for the right price.
Sleeves up. It's time for your annual flu shot at Shoppers Drug Mart. Book today at shoppersdrugmart.ca/flu or through the PC Health app. Over 1,100 pharmacies across Canada. Subject to vaccine availability. Limitations apply.
Add some rhythm to your morning with the McDonald's Egg BLT McMuffin or the Chicken BLT McMuffin. Available until 11 a.m. for a limited time. With the BLT McMuffin sandwiches, it's easy to start your day off right at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
At Toyota, our vehicles have always had quality and advanced safety features built right in.
Because sometimes I might forget to check my blind spots.
Quality means everything to us because it means everything to you. Order a new 2023 Corolla L from $24,541. Dealer may charge additional fees up to $1,221. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today. It's time to Toyota.
As an expert traveler, you know what you want from a Black Friday sale. And it's not a bargain on a microwave. It's white sand and blue skies. So join us for Sell-Off Vacation's big Black Friday sale and get instant savings off your expertly planned vacation when you book by November 27th. Because a microwave can warm up a cup of coffee, but it can't warm you up like a tropical getaway can. Let's make it happen. In store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
SellOffVacations.com. You work hard. Now you need a store that works hard to save you money. You need Work and Wear's Black Friday sale. Now till Monday, save up to 50% off winter workwear, safety footwear, and clothing. Top brands like Carhartt, Tough Duck, Terra, Kodiak, Timberland, Dickies, and Baffin, to name a few. And because Work and Wear works hard to save you money, you save the tax too. Shop now at workandwear.ca or in store in Markham, Scarborough, and now in Whitby.
The next best thing to being at the game and a little more affordable. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Minnesota Wild. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome wherever you're listening from. This is John Bartlett sitting in for Joe Bowen today alongside Jim Ralph as the Wild are coming off their 6-1 victory over the Winnipeg Jets on Wednesday night. And the Toronto Maple Leafs coming off their win over the New Jersey Devils on Wednesday, which came with all of its own entertainment.
All right, let's get this out of the way first. Do you remember what you're doing 17 years ago to the day?
To the day.
To the day.
On November 25th, 2005.
Yes.
I believe that was the last time you and I were together here on the Leafs Radio Network.
It was your first NHL game. And I told you one day I'd come and get you again.
Yeah, 17 years later. Here we go. It's the Leafs to the left of your dial in their road whites with blue trim, and the Wild to the right wearing their reverse retro uniforms in a stunning North Stars throwback with the green with yellow and white trim. And this one underway in Minnesota as the puck comes back to the point, thrown towards the net. Murray got a piece of that as Pierre Engvall on the right side will try to chip it out. It bounces at the blue line. It comes to center. Out of the reach of David Kemp. That allows John Merrill to feed it back to Kalen Addison. Long pass up through center is tipped off a stick, and Timothy Liljegren will take it back of his own net. Reverses it to hand it off for Justin Hall. Hall now back on the left side of the goal. Up onto the wing, will get it out through center and down into the Wild end as Marc-Andre Fleury will play the puck as he returns to the Minnesota lineup here this afternoon. Kirill Kaprizov carries it in as he's held back by William Nylander and got it below the Leaf goal line as Liljegren will hand it off for Austin Matthews through center. Here's Bunting trying to go back for Matthews. That got tipped away, delayed offside. Kaprizov will bring it back for Minnesota. Charging down to the Leaf zone to the right side, hands it off as Zuccarello back to the point. Spurgeon's shot is off a glove and is chipped away as Bunting will try to catch up to it now. Uncle Bunting down the left wing, throws it towards the net. It'll skip back in the Wild goal. And Jared Spurgeon slows things down for Minnesota. Now brought up ice by Frederick Gaudreau. Flip it in the Leaf zone. Victor Mete on it back of the net. Plays it up on the left wing side. Tavares tried to knock it down off the boards with his hand. Couldn't get it. Puck thrown towards the net from a sharp angle. Murray knocked it down with his shoulder. And now it is picked back up again in the corner, and the Leafs will control it as Mete's got it back in the net. Flushed out there by Matt Boldy. John Croak on the wing trying to play it. He'll get up to the blue line. Can't get it out as Alex Goligoski will hold it in. And it is picked back up by Mitch Marner behind his own net. Marner will leave it now for Mac Hollowell coming off his NHL debut against the Devils on Wednesday. And he's just going to hold on here and let things set up. Shots 3-0 in the early going for the Wild with just 2:20 gone in this opening period here in Minnesota. Leafs carry it in. Holmberg over the line, dropped it off, snapped towards the net, and that puck will bounce in front, is picked up by Shaw, and he'll get it out. Now Shaw goes after it in the corner with Hall back on it for Toronto. And Justin Hall will work it out through center. It goes all the way down the ice wide of the net, and that's an icing call against the Maple Leafs.
Well, it's hard to believe the number of injuries that the Leafs have had on the blue line, and they continue to battle through as Jordy Ben is now out being injured, but the seven active defensemen that the Leafs have right now combined to make $7.9 million. You talk about being able to clear up some cap space unintentionally. The Leafs have been able to do that.
Wild win the draw off the line. A shot gets into the slot. Zuccarello trying to put it through traffic. Great pad save made by Murray as he had to stretch out his right leg with a scramble in the slot. And the Leafs will get it down the ice. Zuccarello leaves it back of his own net. Spurgeon starts out on the right side. Pass up through center, goes off a skate into the Leaf zone. Austin Matthews tried to poke it away. Zuccarello comes up with it. Tried to feed it in front. That was broken up. Liljegren into the corner with it. Being watched by Sam Steele. Played it off for Kaprizov. He's knocked down, got it into the slot, but racing after it in time was Mark Giordano, and he'll clear it to center where William Nylander is on it. Into the Wild zone, down the right side, stops at the half boards, drops it off into the corner. Matthews back in the net, tied up by Addison. He'll shake him free, tries to come out front, hits the brakes with a backhand on net, and Fleury gets his pad on it and will put the glove on it for the whistle.
First good scoring chance of the night for Austin Matthews. Something, Bart's, that I find almost scary when you start looking at the stat. You don't feel like the Leafs have really reached their peak this year, and they've lost their top two goaltenders for a stretch. Now they've lost three of their top defensemen, Jordy Ben as well. You say Matthews isn't on pace. There's a lot of things that need to get better. Yet, if they win the 5 overtime games that they lost, this would be a team that would be 16-5. And really, overtime games, a lot of times you can flip a coin to see who comes out with a win. But for a team that hasn't hit their stride yet, they've been able to bank some pretty important points.
There's Marner scores from the point. Marner with a shot. It was tipped on the way through. I think John Tavares might have got a piece of it. Marner's the one that's going to celebrate. And the Leafs get the opening goal of the game, 3:42 into the opening period.
No, you're right. Marner, the first one to the bench, but I'm with you, John. I thought John Tavares may have got a piece of that. And the shot that was launched from just inside the blue line, Tavares was in front. That's after Tavares wins the face-off. Marner gets it and throws it. I still think it was Tavares that touched it, don't you?
Either that or it went off a Minnesota stick on the... Oh, no, Yarncroke
Oh, yeah. It might have been Yak.
Kelly Yarncroke, they got it. Leafs will take it either way. And they have the opening goal of the contest, 42 into the game. Now it's the Wild on the attack. Joel Eriksson Ek back of the Toronto goal, tried to get it in front. It was blocked. Garrett Engvall will pick it up in his own end. Stopped at his own line and forced back, so Liljegren will play it through center where it is picked off. Eriksson Ek. Can't get by David Kampf. Engvall put a pass for Zach Aston Reese that went in behind him through the neutral zone. And the Wild recruit from their own end with Alex Goligoski on it. Goligoski from center will ring it in around the glass. Marner in the corner hands it off for Victor Mete. Tried to go up the wing. Boldy was there. He'll cut it off. Feeds it to the point. Sturgeon to the left side. Is skated in by Middleton to the corner. Plays it around to the far boards, and Victor Mete is there. He'll take a hit when he gets the puck down the ice. It'll roll all the way to the Wild zone as Sturgeon's after it, and he is being chased by Yarncroke. It's turned over as Tavares will pick it up in the corner. Boldy right on him. John Tavares breaks free. Boldy sticks with him in the corner to the left of Fleury. Comes free along the goal line, and it's fired off the glass. It will get by Hollowell and back down the ice. And Victor Mete is back to retrieve it for Toronto. They'll send a long feed up through center. That was tipped into the Wild zone, and they'll fire it right back out. So Justin Hall is forced to work it across in his own end. Now here's Hall to center. He'll ring it into the Wild zone. After it goes Kerfoot. Kerfoot trying to get it on the wing, couldn't come up with it. The bouncing puck is taken away as Connor Dewar will feed it into the Leaf zone. Justin Hall ties up Mason Shaw as he goes after it. Passed by Shaw, goes off the outside of the net. And Wayne Simmons will lift it high in the air to center where it's knocked forward by John Merrill and then touched by Mason Shaw. So that will be called on a hand pass against the Wild with the Leafs up 1-0.
Pretty good pace for an afternoon game for the Leafs, and I don't recall the last time they had an afternoon game on the road. Remember some 4 and 5 o'clock starts over the years. But right now, the goal that the Leafs have scored on their third shot on goal of the game has still been given to Mitch Marner. We're looking again. Well, you know what? Might have been a Minnesota player that it bounced off. The went past Tavares, who had his, I believe, was trying to redirect it about waist high. And Yarncroke right in front, but right now it looks like it's going to be Mitch Marner's 4th of the season.
It might have grazed the leg of Matt Dumba on the way in, and that might have been
Liljegren and John Tavares with the assists on it.
Mitch Marner extending that point streak to 15 games as he continues to roll. Playing against Minnesota as well. 11 points. Now 10 career games against the Wild. Minnesota with it at the blue line. Spurgeon shot, hit a leg in front on the way to the Leaf goal. Liljegren will skate it to center. His backhand pass is off the skate of William Nylander. And Minnesota's got it back as Joel Eriksson Ek will poke it down the left boards into the corner. Liljegren in the Leaf zone. Up onto the right side. Nylander is there. Nylander tied up with Kirill Kaprizov. He'll break free, slide it to the left point. Goligoski, right point for Dumba with a shot through traffic, and Murray had to try and fight to see that one. Here's Dumba on the right point again, trying to find an open lane. Shot gets blocked, and it's poked out at center. And the Wild regroup as Kaprizov has got it. Kirill Kaprizov feeds it on the left side for Steele into the corner. Takes it around back to the Leafs net, being watched by Hollowell. Camped in there as well. Hollowell goes after it in the corner on the left side as it's Kaprizov that tries to play it. He was tied up by Kemp. Goligoski will hold it. And now it comes out in front. Here's Zuccarello on the slide, shooting off the shoulder of Murray. Another drive from the point by Dumba is kicked out. Murray has to be sharp. Kaprizov on it, back for Goligoski. Through traffic, his shot from the high slot missed. It cleans off the boards and comes all the way to center ice.
Boy, that's a huge break for the Leafs. They had a tired group on the ice, and Matt Murray has already stopped all 6 that he's faced here in the early going. But He's picked right up where he left off from the win over the New Jersey Devils a couple of nights ago.
Fleury out of the net. Will play it around the boards, up onto the wing where it is cleared out by Matt Boldy. And Tavares has to hustle back after in his own end. He'll poke it back to goal with Mark Giordano going after it. Left it in the corner. Liljegren is there. He gets bumped by Jordan Greenway. And the Leafs will clear the puck to center, and it's back inside the Wild blue line with Calen Addison on it. Just past the 8-minute mark of the first period. A 1-0 Toronto lead on the goal by Mitch Marner. Puck got away from the skates. Tavares after it now in the corner. He'll try to poke it free, but he's battling Matt Boldy. Merrill will fire it off the glass and hit the glass and then the side of the net. Murray had to be careful, and now Greenway gets his stick up on Rasmus Sandin back in the net, and that is going to be a penalty as referee Justin St. Pierre skates in to make the call.
And I think Greenway may have thought Sandin and Billups should have bet, because after he gave him the high stick, he gave him a little shot after that. But it looks like the Leafs have a 1-0 lead. They'll go to the first power play of the night.
8:28 gone in the first period. Marner's goal makes it 1-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I need to realign my chakras, and I think consolidating my debts into one easy payment would really help. I'd like a loan.
Do you own your home?
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Namaste.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616. In Ontario, we already have enough land for housing, but we don't have enough Greenbelt. The Greenbelt's food, jobs, and clean water are counted on by millions of people. So why is it being given away to less than a dozen developers? Doug Ford and his developer friends don't need the Greenbelt, but we do. Tell your MPP, hands off the Greenbelt at saveourgreenbelt.ca. Brought to you by Small Change Fund.
Austin Matthews scored 60 last year. This year, he's given 110% more. So that's like 126 goals. Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Off the draw in the Wild zone. They'll clear it down the ice, and out of the net to stop it is Murray. He'll set it up for Rasmus Sandin. 1-0 Toronto on a goal by Mitch Marner here in the first period at the Xcel Energy Center in Minnesota. Marner carries it to center. Off onto the right wing for Nylander on the boards, back and from Marner centers. Hit by Matthews, and he knocked it wide. Tried to get his own rebound, and then it gets cleared back down the ice. 30 seconds gone in the Toronto power play. And now it is Rasmus Sandin that'll start out with it. Gets it back for Austin Matthews. Onto the wing on the right side, and William Nylander will curl back inside his own blue line with it. Now he'll give it back to Matthews. He'll take off to his center, onto the wing. And here comes Tavares trying to go to the net. Fleury down, scramble in front, puck still freeze. And the Wild find it, and they'll clear it out. Rasmus Sandin back inside his own blue line. Up ahead for Matthews. Dropped it off for Marner. Marner on the right boards will lead it back to the point. Sandin moves to the middle. Trying to dump it off when Marner hit his skate. Tavares after it. Now it is picked up by Connor Dewar, and he'll clear it down the ice to Minnesota with 45 seconds to go in the power play.
Leafs have got to be very careful. The Minnesota Wild lead the National Hockey League. 4 shorthanded goals already from 4 different players.
Here comes Pierre Engvall with it. He'll get to center and lift it into the corner. Broke after it. Pokes it free for Kerfoot. Traffic jam there in the corner to the left of Fleury. As Matt Dumba's got it, he'll wire it around the boards, and it'll make it all the way down the ice. And he sets it up behind his own net for Giordano with 15 seconds to go in the Toronto power play. Across the midway mark of the first with a 1-0 Maple Leaf lead, and Tangwall tried to carry it in, had it knocked away, and the Wild clear it again. Sets it up for Mark Giordano, and the power play comes to an end. Leafs manage 2 shots, but don't get a goal as they hold a 1-0 lead as the puck gets cleared to center. Kaprizov will hand it off for Zuccarello on the right side. Zuccarello tried to slide it to the front of the net, intercepted by Hall. Out tap once more. Here's Boldy with it. Boldy stops along the board to draw the penalty against David Camp. Boldy all the way to the point, hands it off to Zuccarello. Extra attacker out for the Wild. And Zach Aspen-Reeves got his stick twisted, directed out to center, and the Wild have to regroup. As Kaprizov will take it inside his own zone. Now here comes Kaprizov. Down the left wing, knocked down by Hall. The Wild are going to try to get 2 calls here, but they'll only get 1, and a high sticking penalty will send Minnesota to their first power play of the afternoon. When we return after a 1-0 lead for the Leafs. And now the penalty killers will go to work when we come back. Olsen Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
You hear? Yeah. No, but I even have like some Barts. It's like I barely hear him in one ear. Yeah, no, I gave Armin the.
Hi, I'm Hugh Herron, Chairman of Heath. Tradition means a lot to us. Our reputation for quality, service, and customer care are all part of Heathwood's tradition, and that has made us the most successful new home builder. Thousands of people are now proud to be living in a Heathwood home in one of our many outstanding communities, and you can too. Visit heathwood.com to learn all about our fabulous communities. With Heathwood, you'll be home at last.
We're Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook. Place your bets before or after the game starts on the biggest sports like hockey, basketball, baseball, football, MMA, and soccer. Here's the best part. Bet365 is now available in Ontario. Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's #1.
Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, the Minnesota Wild on their first power play of the afternoon, and they're called for an offside as they bring it into the Leaf zone.
Well, classy by the Minnesota Wild. They did a video tribute to Boreas Salming, who many will know passed away yesterday. And it makes what happened here in Toronto a couple of weeks ago even more special. Something that you hoped wasn't a goodbye, but feared that it was. But just 2 weeks later, Boreas Salming has left us, and the Toronto Maple Leafs wearing a little patch on their shoulder as a tribute to the great Swedish defenseman.
Yeah, it's been great to see the tributes pour in from the hockey world all around as Mark Giordano is after the puck, got it to the point, not out. Here's Kaprizov. He'll hand it off for Boldy. Head to the line, Addison over Zuccarello, tried to go through the seam, back in front, Murray down, they score! Kirill Kaprizov bangs it home, and a power play goal makes it a 1-1 game.
Well, the Minnesota power play went 2 for 5 against the Winnipeg Jets. In their last game, which was a blowout victory, Kaprizov finds a loose puck in the crease after Matt Murray made a couple of outstanding stops. Eriksson Ek was in front, And Eriksson Ek had the puck go to him at the top of the crease and went off his skate. Then under a diving Matt Murray across the crease the other way, and Kaprizov had no problem knocking in his 12th goal of the season to tie this game up at 1.
12 goals, 7th power play goal for Kirill Kaprizov, whose point streak goes to 8 games. With 10 points, he's been hot for the Wild. And now a point shot is blocked. It comes back to center, and Bunting tried to reach for it. Austin Matthews tangled up with Ryan Reeves, and he ends up on top of him at the blue line as the two of them slide to the boards. Meanwhile, it's Spurgeon that'll carry it back for Minnesota. Snapped it on net, and it's gloved up by Murray.
7 shots on goal apiece for these two teams. By the way, Kirill Kaprizov's 3rd season in the National Hockey League.
Easy for you to say.
I'm just going to say Kaprizov now. 3rd season in the National Hockey League. Since he's come into the league, only 3 players have scored more goals. And not a bad 3. When you have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and of course Austin Matthews. Sort of a guy that maybe playing in a smaller market. Minnesota doesn't get quite the fanfare, but he continues to put up great numbers in Minnesota.
66 points now in his last 50 games dating back to March 4th of 2022. And now he's on the puck back behind his own net. He'll work it up on the boards, but it's cut off by Zach Aston Reese. Throws it on net, and it's in. He scores. Zach Aston Reese from along the goal line fooled Marc-Andre Fleury. It slipped under his pad as he slams his stick on the post in frustration. And Toronto's got the lead back. It's 2-1.
Boy, what a delay between the shot from the boards, which was well to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury. And Zach Aston Reese just sort of turned and spun. He had his back to the net when he picked up the loose puck. Spun and threw it right through the pads of Marc-Andre Fleury, who was not expecting it. And Zach Aston Reese has his 3rd goal of the season and 4th point. And the Leafs have regained their 1-goal lead.
The goal coming 42 seconds after the Minnesota power play marker. As Marc-Andre Fleury, you can't believe that he let that one sneak in. And Zach Aston Reese gets his 1st goal against the Minnesota Wild in his career. And he'll take it any way you can get it. Here's Victor Mete, long pass up the middle. Marner will track it down on the boards on the right side. Trying to feed it in front for Tavares. Tavares now side of the net, gets knocked down by Matt Dumba as he tried to stuff it in on Fleury. Marner back to the corner for Tavares. Tied up back of the net by Dumba. Lost his stick in the battle. Now he's lost a glove. Might lose his wallet in the same play here if he keeps going. Tavares tried to feed it in front. Rolls back to the point. Sandin's got it on his backhand. He'll send it in the corner as Dumba broke free from Yarncroke, and now it is skipped to the point, and Liljegren is there. Hands it off for Tavares, trying to battle his way to the slot. Can't get there. Here's Sandin. Trying to center it. That was blocked. Comes back for Marner again. Marner will hand it off for Tavares. For Marner on the boards. Pass across. Coming in on the wing with a great shot was Sandin. He snuck in as a trailer and ripped it over the goal. The Wild get it. They'll clear it down the ice, and the Leafs are on a change. Kerfoot with the puck. Drives up the middle of the ice. High shot off the shoulder of Fleury. Knocked down. Rebound in the slot, and Fleury will scoop it up to get the whistle with a 2-1 Toronto lead.
I think I like the response from the Leafs after the Minnesota Wild tied this game in a power play. Toronto's come right back with the Aston Reese goal, and now more pressure on Marc-Andre Fleury. Sandin had a great chance jumping in from the left point, but rifled that high and wide. And getting another look at Marc-Andre Fleury's bit of a tantrum after giving up the Aston Reese goal.
Shots 10-8 favoring the Maple Leafs. Face off to the right of Fleury in the Wild zone. There's Justin Hall after the puck on the right side. Hall throws it in front. And Pontus Holmberg had his stick tied up. Couldn't get the pass. It'll come to center as Connor Dewar's got it for the Wild. He'll hand it off to Mason Shaw, who will lift it in back of the Toronto net. Wayne Simmons on the puck. Flips it up on the wing. Kerfoot tried to get it out. That was forced back. Addison hustles after it on the right side. Throws it towards the goal. It is blocked, and the Leafs clear it back to center, and that'll force the Wild to their own blue line as John Merrill's on it, and they'll play it off for Kalen Addison. Here comes Merrill with it. Trying to feed it up to the Leaf blue line for Connor Dewar. Couldn't get it in on the first effort. Second one will get it in deep. Back of the goal. Foligno after it on the forecheck. Foligno coming off a 2-goal performance Wednesday night against the Winnipeg Jets for the Wild. Was out on the ice looking for the hat trick with the empty, or at least out on the ice late in the game looking for the hat trick, and took a odd injury and he had to leave the game. Here comes Bunting with it now. Bunting out to center for Nylander. Nylander down the wing with it. Flips it back of the goal. Matthews going after it. Puck comes free in the corner. And it is dug out by Kaprizov, and he'll take off with it. Kirill Kaprizov up to center, hands it off for Joel Eriksson Ek down the left side. Into the corner, Hollowell watching him. Sandin trying to catch it back of the goal. Zuccarello hands it off. Kaprizov, wraparound attempt. One whack at it, two. Murray down, and Murray will keep it out and holds on, and we'll get a little shoving match around the Leaf net. But not much more will happen after that with Matt Murray holding the fort.
I tell you, this is exactly what Matt Murray was able to do in New Jersey. Not only make the saves you needed, but boy did he battle in the blue paint, and we saw it in that last barrage of shots in the Toronto crease right there.
4.5 to go in the first. It's the Leafs 2, the Wild 1. From Minnesota, this is Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As an expert traveler, you know what you want from a Black Friday sale. And it's not a bargain on a microwave. It's white sand and blue skies. So join us for Sell-Off Vacation's big Black Friday sale and get instant savings off your expertly planned vacation when you book by November 27th. Because a microwave can warm up a cup of coffee, but it can't warm you up like a tropical getaway can. Let's make it happen. In-store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
selloffvacations.com. Hi, it's Fido. Are you ready for Black Friday deals? Because we got some incredible offers on select phones and plans, so you can score your favorites at their most affordable. Select plans even include data overage protection, so you can be data confident. Wait, is that true?
Yeah. Where are you going?
I'm going to Fido to get a Black Friday deal.
Can you finish the ad first?
Go to Fido.ca or a Fido store now. Fido, at your side.
The Bay's Black Friday sale is on now, with savings of up to 60% off, including clearance. Get amazing deals on all your favorite brands, like Free People, Mango, Sorel, Blendtec, Dior fragrances, and more. Plus, new offers are dropping every day, and they only last 24 hours. So head over to your local Hudson's Bay store or thebay.com so you don't miss out. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with offers on hundreds of brands at the Bay's Black Friday sale. Exclusions and conditions apply.
John Tavares, center of your favorite team. That's center of your world. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
First period is brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 18 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Off the face-off in the Leaf zone to the left side. It's Yarncroke that controlled it. Then he got knocked down and fell. In tight, chance for Sam Steele. He put it through the slot wide. Goligoski, back of the goal. Picked up by Steele in the corner. Knocked down by Mark Giordano. Tavares goes after the loose puck. And now it is Marner that's got it, and he'll lift it high in the air and clear it to center as it skips back into the Wild zone. 4:04 to go in the first. It's the Leafs 2, the Wild 1. Goals from Mitch Marner and Zach Aston-Reese. Kirill Kaprizov, a power play goal for the Wild in this one. Goligoski in his own zone up the boards, cut off by Yarncroke. Now he is tied up looking for an outlet. Gives it off for Marner. Little chip pass, trying to get it to the point. Good play by Mark Giordano to hold it in with his skate as it skips out at center and the Leafs bring it back in. Marner down the right side. Hits the brakes to get away from Goligoski. Trying to play it back in the net for Yarncroke, and he was knocked down. And it is Dumba that'll hand it off for Goligoski, who clears it out to center. Puck chipped into the Leaf zone. Mac Hollowell catches up to it. He'll skate it up on the right side and flip it into the corner. Kerfoot after it on the attack, swipes it around where Wayne Simmons is waiting for it on the left boards. Simmons trying to get it back for Holmberg. And it goes back of the Wild net as Kalen Addison has got it. And on the backhand, he'll lift it high and out at center. It's off the hand of Hollowell and goes back to Victor Mete. So that's a hand pass against the Leafs.
I'm going to give the Leaf Blue Liners credit battling through these injuries, especially Mark Giordano, who, by the way, against the New Jersey Devils, in their last game, Giordano played a season high 24 minutes and 43 seconds. And do you think maybe in the offseason, when he was discussing a contract to give the Leafs a hometown discount, he envisioned in November being the most used defenseman? I'm not sure how you can structure a contract like that, but he has certainly been well worth the money for the Leafs to re-sign.
They battle for it on the boards to the left of Matt Murray in the Leafs' zone. Boldy's got it there. It's jammed up against the boards by Jordan Greenway. Mac Hollowell trying to play it. Holmberg digs it out. He's got it. He'll take off behind the Leafs net. Onto the right corner. Trying to poke it up for Simmons. It's broken up. Frederic Gaudreau reaching for it. Keeps it in the Leafs' zone. Skates it onto the right side and feeds it back to the net. Holmberg checked by Boldy. Boldy breaks free as he hands it off for Jordan Greenway. Dumped it off for Boldy. Got away from him back of the net. Kerfoot is there. He'll feed it off for Hollowell. The Leafs are stuck out for a bit of a long shift here. But now they'll get it to center. Kerfoot's got it. Hands it off for Nylander on the right side. Cuts into the slump. Backhand goes wide as he tried to put it past the glove of Marc-Andre Fleury. Merrill from center for Minnesota dumps it in. Under 2 minutes to go in the first. A 2-1 Leafs lead on this afternoon game in St. Paul, Minnesota. Puck comes to center. Mason Shaw is there. He'll feed it back for Spurgeon. Hands it off for Middleton. Middleton down the left side. We'll get it in the corner. Back of the net. And after it goes Rasmus Sandin. He'll lift it high in the air. Jumping up for it at the blue line was Connor Dewar. He was tangled up with Austin Matthews. And Liljegren will feed it back into his own zone as Sandin will get a long pass at center. Bunting will chip it in, but he was tangled up with Jake Middleton, and that'll force the Leafs back. They're on the attack once again. Sandin through center. Slides it in. Middleton is there. Wrapped it around the boards. Engvall got a piece of it. Ryan Reeves is able to tip it out. Reeves making his Minnesota Wild debut this afternoon. For being acquired from the New York Rangers, and he lays the body out on Justin Hall at center as he dumped it in the Wild zone. Final minute here in the first. There's Kemp. Played it across for Giordano. He'll gain the red line and dump it in. Dustin Hall goes after it, tangled up with Reeves. On the half boards, it's cleared away as Dumbo will hand it out for Joel Eriksson Ek. Ek down the left side, throws it towards the net and was poked away by Murray. Rebound picked up by Foligno. Curls on the right boards and dumps it off back to the net. Reeves going after it. Ryan Reeves bumps with Hall again. Dustin Hall takes another hit, this time from Marcus Foligno as he feeds the puck for Victor Mete. Cleared to center where it's knocked down by Reeves, but the Wild have to clear. And it is Kemp that'll take it back to his own net. Foligno going after him. Dustin Hall will get it out to center. Kaprizov is checked. Marner back in his own end. 5 seconds to go in the period. Marner sees Kaprizov coming, so we'll leave it for Justin Hall. He'll feed it back to the goal, and that will do it for period number one.
Pretty good road period for the Leafs. They do as they did in New Jersey. They get a couple of first period goals. They do give one up on the power play, but Matt Murray was sharp when he had to be. But I really like, John, the response of the Leafs after Kaprizov tied things up in the power play. It was 1-1. You think that Minnesota might be the team with the momentum, but the Leafs pushed back. Eventually got a break on the Zach Aston-Reese goal, which was from a bit of a sharp angle that Marc-Andre Fleury didn't seem to be expecting. But the Leafs hopefully keep that pace. I thought the game against New Jersey a couple of nights ago, they got back on their heels the last 40 minutes. Took 3 minors in the second period. Hopefully it's a little more push forward and give Matt Murray an easier 40 minutes coming home.
Brent Cunning, Gord Stellick coming up in our first intermission. The shots 12-10 in favor of Minnesota. Mitch Marner and Zach Aston-Reese scoring for Toronto. Kirill Kaprizov, a power play goal for the Wild through 20 minutes. It's the Leafs 2, the Wild 1. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Banking packages from Scotiabank have unique rewards for unique people like you. Whether it's a backpacking honeymoon or a new home with a yoga studio, we want to help you do what you love and get rewards you'll love. Visit scotiabank.com/ultimate350. Conditions apply. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
We're live with NBA Rookie of the Year Scotty Barnes, fresh off the court.
Welcome to the Subway Eat Fresh, Refresh.
Tell us your thoughts on Subway's new rice bowls.
This is news. What if we call it Bowlway?
Okay, how about we take a look at these ingredients?
Seasoned steak, rice, avocado, chipotle sauce.
Delicious.
Bowlway by Scotty. Subway. Eat fresh, refresh.
For limited time, save $3 with code BOWL3 only on the Subway app. Freshly prepared for your order at participating shops. Terms apply.
A furnace breakdown is uncomfortable, but you can feel comfortable knowing Reliance Home Comfort will fix it fast. We're here to take your call 24/7. And if you need a new one, right now you can get our featured furnace and make no monthly payments and pay no interest until 2024. Plus, start your Reliance Smart Home solution with a free Google Nest Learning Thermostat. So, if a furnace breakdown has you feeling uncomfortable,
call on Reliance.
Financing OAC. Interest accrues 18 months after installation. Conditions apply. See website for details.
When they go low, we go low. I'm Mark Mandelson, and it's Black Friday at Bay Bluer Radio. Our lowest prices of the year on top-rated Sony OLED TVs. I love my Sony, and I've got one for you, too.
When they go fast, we go slow. Personal attention, expert advice, one customer at a time. In-store, online, or on the phone.
There's only one Bay Bluer Radio. The right sound for the right price.
Black Friday is on now at Mark's. From November 24th to 30th, save up to 70% off in-store and online. Great savings with new offers on hikers, fleece, jackets, and more. Visit Mark's in-store or at marks.com to shop and save.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is back, and for the first time in decades, the Canadian men will be there. Sportsnet is your home for game day insights and day after analysis, not only for the Canadian men, but for the entire tournament. Don't miss a moment of the action. Listen for the soccer report right throughout the tournament. Brought to you by CertainTeed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and sealing systems. CertainTeed, pro all the way.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Here's Alistair Johnston telling us about Canada Soccer's men's national team.
We try to embody you. We're a hardworking group. We're a group that, has been overlooked for a long time, but we're extremely talented, extremely hardworking, and that we want to be a group that you guys can be proud to watch and feel like represent you in the best possible way.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian, cheer Canadian.
Please, your mother of all poutines is so saucy, you use curtains as a bib.
Your mother of all poutines is so cheesy, it's every dad's favorite comedian.
Yo, your mother of all poutines is so big, I took a photo of it and it's still pretty.
Damn, you win. This one's on me.
Okay.
Experience the mother of all poutines at St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's 3 pounds of classic cheesy poutine, covered with our garlic dill sauce and signature saucy boneless wings. Check out all the new instant classic dishes and drinks this winter, only for a limited time. St. Louis Bar and Grill, celebrating 30 devilishly good years.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a play!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Now he's on the puck back behind his own net. He'll work it up on the boards, but it's cut off by Zach Aston-Reese. Throws it on net, and it's in. He scores. Zach Aston-Reese from along the goal line fooled Marc-Andre Fleury. It slipped under his pad as he slams his stick on the post in frustration. And Toronto's got the lead back. It's 2-1.
All the big offensive studs scoring in that period. Mitch Marner opens it, Kirill Kaprizov answers, and Zach Aston-Reese. Okay, maybe I didn't quite follow through on the last part there. His third of the season. Just heard John Bartlett on the call, filling in for our pal Joe Bowen. I hope the pipes are getting better. We always love hearing you on the airwaves. Thrilled to have John Bartlett alongside Ralphie today. Brent Gutting, Gord Stellick here with you. Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Honestly, I thought, and I'm not saying this to butter him up, because I don't really like saying that many good things about Jim Ralph, but I thought he summed it up well at the end of the first period there. That was an excellent road period for the Leafs.
Yeah, it really was. Just taking a page from where they left off with the New Jersey Devil game, and then boy, the soft goal killer. So Marc-Andre Fleury coming back like Matt Murray did, coming back from an injury his first game. And that is a killer on the Minnesota Wild side. I mean, there's still 40 minutes of hockey left to go, but that's the one thing, particularly great road period. Also with your top 3D not in the lineup, well, and Jordy Ben as well, that you want to make sure that kind of goal doesn't happen. The goaltender and Marc-Andre Fleury, you saw him smash his stick right after that. He was ticked about it, as he should be, but all in all, yeah, it's one faux pas, but all in all, just a solid play by the Maple Leafs. And early on, Matt Murray had about 6 shots early on, and he made big saves early.
Yeah, Murray was busy, and he had to be good. And I think especially with this Wild team, they're a little bit like the Preds, in that we don't exactly think of them as the high flying, flash and dash, a solid NHL team. But Kaprizov has changed the way we think about them offensively, and just having a guy like that in the lineup kind of forces you to just expect more danger. Quite honestly, and that's what was going on early in the game. It's funny, we were sitting here heading into it of, is Marc-Andre Fleury going to play? I don't know how I didn't think he was going to play with them wearing these reverse unis, and he's got his special pads. There was no way he wasn't getting in this game today here. Mitch Marner running his point streak up to 15 games now, 3 off the club record held by Daryl Sittler system. What you're getting every shift in, shift out is just the difference maker that he can be.
Yeah, and also Eddie Olczyk, don't forget him.
That's
as far
right.
as the record goes, back in 89-90 when they had about 8 goals a game. But yeah, Mitch Marner, John Tavares from the word go start of the year had really, really solid seasons, and getting that goal early. It's one of those quirky kind of streaks, those anything consecutive game. It's kind of a fun one to watch. I'm trying to remember what happened thinking about Eddie Olczyk. There was some streak, Patrick Kane, him on this Thanksgiving Friday a couple of years ago, top American born, whatever, and then I think Kane passed Eddie O. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, just again, you when your big D aren't there, you need your big forwards, because we all know about the Maple Leafs. It's disproportionately weighted towards the money for the big four up front. So you really need to be the big four.
This will shock you. I quickly pulled up the NHL record for longest point streak. You take a wild guess. Yes, it
Wayne
is.
Gretzky?
Wayne Gretzky. 51 game point streak. So just a couple of games to go for Mitchie there. But hey, only 3 off of the
Was that
Leafs.
when he was with St. Louis?
That was not when he was with St. Louis. That was in the 83-84 season.
Yeah.
You can tell me it happened. I've seen pictures of it. I still don't believe Wayne Gretzky was a Blue. I saw it with my own eyes. I watched those games. I still don't believe it happened. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We're going to take a look around the NHL. As we mentioned, it's a busy one today because of American Thanksgiving. Leafs up on the Wild after 20 minutes. We'll be back with a little bit more of the first intermission. Keep on listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker Remax West, also receives awards. Also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
I'm Johnny. As a high school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. Quality in-person learning is essential to student success and well-being, as it provides children with the best opportunities to learn, practice, and grow. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's KNOWMORE.ca.
A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Wednesdays on City TV. Spend time in the Windy City with Chicago Med.
You put this hospital in that kind of legal jeopardy.
Chicago Fire.
Watch your step!
I can save him, please!
Chicago PD.
Hit one! Got runners headed for the west exit! Hit him fast.
Chicago Med, Fire, and PD. 3 shows, 1 night. All new episodes every Wednesday on City TV. Or stream on City TV Plus, the app, or citytv.com.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one, the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
Hi, I'm Stu Heron from Heathwood Homes. I want to talk to you about our great country, Canada. It's a land of opportunity and a place I call home. For 50 years, Heathwood has been committed to building each home with the very best new technologies, ensuring that your home will be more energy efficient and sustainable than ever. Visit our communities at heathwood.com. At Heathwood, you will be home at last.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a callback. You need a job. Express Employment Professionals can help. We'll connect you to the right company. We're committed to your success and never charge a fee to find you a job. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Find your location at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
Can't beat this Leafs coverage. Not in our barn. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey continues on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
He'll hand it off for Boldy. Fed to the line. Addison over Zuccarello trying to go through the seam. Back in front. Murray down. They score. Kirill Kaprizov bangs it home, and a power play goal makes it a 1-1 game.
Wouldn't stay 1-1 for long. Leafs up 2-1 after 20 minutes in Minnesota. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick here with you, getting you set for the second period. Quickly, wanted to put a pin on what we were talking about with the point streaks there. You were right. Patrick Kane did pass Eddie O for the longest by an American. He ran that thing all the way up to a 26-game point streak. And quickly, we were looking at this. The fifth longest point streak in NHL history belongs to Matt Sundin when he was with the Nordiques, 30-game point streak. So pretty
long time ago.
Very, very long time
But I remember
ago.
Eddie Olchuk was broadcasting the game that Patrick Kane looked like was going to get snapped, and he got a point late or something like that. So anyway, fun memories with that. And I guess we're going to do out-of-town scores.
We are. The NHL scoreboard brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book with 80 million members worldwide, 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Gordo, what's going on?
Well, if you Google the term wake-up call, it's being shut out by the Arizona Coyotes. So the Carolina Hurricanes had that happen. Right now, up 2-1 over Boston after 2 periods of play. Bruins trying to set a record for the most consecutive wins at home to start a season at 11, looking for number 12. Washington leads Calgary 1-0 after 1. Montreal leads Chicago 1-0 after 1. And a bunch of games going on tonight, this afternoon. The next one up, Ottawa at Anaheim at 3 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. And I will mention this because you actually filled me in as we started the show. I knew the game was postponed, did not know why. Predators will not be playing at home tonight because of a broken water main. So, hey, it can it can cause stress on your street if it happens by your house, and it is causing stress in Nashville right now. We will see what happens with their games as they continue. Gordo, just quickly, got about a minute before we're back for the second period here. What do you want to see from the Leafs? Just more of the same in the second?
Yeah, well, just like Ralphie's point in New Jersey, strong road period. Like the difference about how you can play on the road and at home, strong road period. They've had 4 of them, playing smart hockey, not taking chances in that, and then getting a real lucky break on the second goal with a soft goal.
Aston Reese would tell you that's exactly what he meant to do. Marc-Andre Fleury would big time disagree. John Bartlett, Jim Ralph have the call of the second coming up from Minnesota. Brent Gunning and Gord Stellick will be back for the second intermission. Keep on listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
In Ontario, we already have enough land for housing, but we don't have enough greenbelt. Doug Ford has more land available for housing than the size of Mississauga, but he wants the greenbelt too. He promised us he wouldn't touch it, but he's killing it. Doug Ford and his developer friends don't need the greenbelt, but we do. Tell your MPP, hands off the greenbelt at saveourgreenbelt.ca. Brought to you by Small Change Fund.
Ever find yourself in a situation where you really want to pick something but can't? Mega wedgie? Peeling sunburn? Pesky little nose goblins? The worst! But at Kudo, picking isn't shamed. In fact, it's highly encouraged. With our new Pick Your Perk plans, you get to personalize your phone plan with the free feature that makes you happy. Now, who wouldn't pick that? So pick away, picky people. Pick away.
Black Friday deals continue at Sale. Get up to 50% off a wide selection of items. Visit us in store and discover over 85 top brands on discount. Columbia, The North Face, Merrell, and many more. Sale, your proudly Canadian outdoor superstore.
So I was just at Shoppers Drug Mart, and they have like hundreds of gifts. I got an electric toothbrush, new fragrances, toys, and I got PC Optimum points. My holiday shopping is done. You should totally check it out.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander's in alone! Scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
2-1, the Maple Leafs lead the Wild as we get set for period number 2 at the XL Energy Center. John Bartlett in for Joe Bowen today, along with Jim Ralph. What'd you think of the opening 20 minutes there, Ralphie?
I thought very similar to the way they played in New Jersey. They were able to take advantage of a couple of scoring opportunities. And, Matt Murray came up with some big stops. But I think what you'd like to see is a little more offense over the last 40 minutes. I thought they got caught. They did take 3 minors in the second period in New Jersey. Got back on their heels a little bit. And, the Devils were the hottest team in the National Hockey League and did not go down without a fight. But you would like to see more of that forward press. You'd love to see Austin Matthews get on the board. Just 3 goals in his last 9 games. And, get back to Pittsburgh on a little bit of a high on the road. But I thought, when you start looking at road games and what the Leafs haven't been able to do in the early going of this season, when you look at the California trip and the game in Vegas, I thought they've controlled the play a little better and were stronger defensively.
You look at the afternoon start today as well on the holiday in the U.S. And then you've got, a game tomorrow night with the back-to-back. And it really is a different feeling, not just the afternoon game, but to play a Friday afternoon game around a holiday. Yeah. I think sometimes you underestimate when you're on the road for U.S. Thanksgiving how much of a different feel it really is.
Well, and I also think it can be a little more of a distraction for the home team. If you've got family coming in and, you start planning festivities, that the road team might be a little more focused, staying at the St. Paul Hotel around the corner.
Yes.
Than you are if, maybe you've got family waiting to have a big dinner after the game.
Well, here we go. Second period underway. The Leafs now on the right side of your dial and the Wild on the left as the puck comes out at center and it's back into the Toronto zone. Justin Hall goes after it. He'll pick it up. Hall chased out as he plays it around the ring. David Kemp will clear it. Zach Aston Reese at center waiting for it, but it's tipped by him, and Addison will go back to get it for Minnesota. Dalen Addison tied for third in NHL rookie points after he had a big game Wednesday against the Jets, scoring a goal, and now the Wild get called for icing.
I'm trying to look at the mask that Marc-Andre Fleury is wearing. Now they've got the throwback jerseys, the old Minnesota North Star jerseys. And I see Joe Malash, former Minnesota goaltender, longtime goalie coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. But I know the paint job of the mask for Marc-Andre Fleury is a tribute to Joe Malash. I don't know if it was the full fiberglass or the half and half.
He's got all the yellow pads and even a green stick working for him today, and looks sharp with those uniforms as a pass here eludes the blue line, and it's all the way down the ice as Murray's out of the net. He'll feed it off for Rasmus Sandin. Played around for Liljegren. Liljegren will get it up to center. Cut off by Joel Eriksson. Ryan Reeves will deflect it back in. Foligno after it on the attack for Minnesota. Tied up with Sandin in the corner to the left of Murray. Everybody joins into the pile. Reeves comes up with it. Up to the point, and a high shot by Jake Middleton sails over the net. Spurgeon on it. Centered it in front. Foligno trying to get his stick on it. It's cleared away. And Austin Matthews will take off with it. Matthews sidesteps a check. Gets to the Wild blue line. He'll send it to the corner. Now goes after it. He grabs it away from Middleton. Dropped it back. Middleton, his arrow, push it back to the goal for Spurgeon. He'll go up the right side and clear it out. It's off a stick at center. But it is on the wrong side of the red line for the Wild, and that'll be an icing call.
Well, Mac Hollowell now playing back-to-back games to begin his NHL career. And as we said the other night, only the second player in Toronto Maple Leaf history to wear number 91. 81. You'll remember that Phil Kessel was the other. John Tavares, by the way, did not give up his number for Mac Hollowell to the end of the game.
Not even for a dinner, huh? Bouncing puck comes to the point. Here's a snapshot by Hollowell that makes it through, and Marc-Andre Fleury will hold on.
Well, Nick Robertson doesn't make it back in the lineup again. And I thought he was pretty solid against New Jersey. He didn't have a shot on goal and ended up playing just 10 minutes and 22 seconds. But I thought he had a lot of shifts where he was noticeable. He kept the feet moving. But unfortunately for Robertson, maybe fortunately for the Leafs, the injuries and the opportunities to be in the lineup on a regular basis, let's come to the blue line. It hasn't been the forwards.
Face off in the Wild zone to the left of Marc-Andre Fleury. Tavares wins the draw against Gaudreau. Now he falls down as they try to get a piece of it. It's cleared off the glass at the point. Hollowell will keep it in. And his pass is cut off, and the Wild are on it as Boldy will take it through center. Down the wing, Victor Mete knocked it off his stick. Now it is Tavares. Flipping it up ahead. Tried to connect there, but pass was broken up. Gaudreau will go after it. Tavares has got it back. Slides it away from Boldy. Dumba knocks it down at the line. Tavares trying to still push it in, but Gaudreau will clear it away. And here comes Minnesota as Greenway hands it off in the wing. Pass in front. They score. Matt Boldy bangs it in past Murray, and it's a 2-2 game.
Well, Victor Mete coming back into his own end, got caught watching the puck. And the Minnesota Wild are able to take advantage. And absolutely no chance for Matt Murray. You saw Mete back up at the end. It just wasn't a very good crossover as he got sucked over to Giordano's side. And that left the front of the net wide open. Mete started to chase the puck carrier over to his right, which is where Mark Giordano was. And that left him out of position just long enough for Minnesota to take advantage and tie the game up here early in the second period.
For Boldy with goals in back-to-back games. He had a 3-point night against the Jets on Wednesday. He's got his 8th of the year. As the puck is deflected into the Wild zone, Merrill goes after it. Simmons in on the forecheck. Leaves the body out on him, and Minnesota will clear it to center. Nick Patel will ring it in. Mason Shaw going after it. Justin Hall comes up with it. Hands it off for Simmons. Now to Kerfoot through center. Off a skate, gets it back down the right side of the face-off dot. Going in the net. Fleury had the pad down. As that pass was cut off, now it's fed to the right point. Liljegren over for Sandin. Dumped it down low. Simmons trying to get it back in front. Only there in a white sweater, and Nick Patan, the former Winnipeg Jet, will skate it up through center. Played it back in the middle, going to the goal, and unable to get the shot away was Connor Dewar. Now it's slid into the Leaf crease, and Murray covers it up and holds on.
I thought for a moment there might have been a penalty coming. Matt Murray, no chance of the tying goal here early in the second period. He's had him watching it. It's really an even man rush, but both Marner and Mete got caught chasing the puck. For Marner, it's okay to have that back pressure, but Mete can't read that position in front of the net. I trust that maybe Mark Giordano knows how to handle a one-on-one play on his side of the ice. 14-11 the shots for Minnesota, but now 2-2 on the scoreboard.
Austin Matthews takes the draw. And he won it as it's picked up by Nylander at center. He'll skate it into the Wild zone on the left side. Cross-ice pass. The shot thrown towards the net by Bunting is blocked. And the Wild will clear it. Justin Hall back after it. That'll be an icing call against Minnesota.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Somebody brought it up to me, which I tend to agree with. That most people, the favorite jerseys of any team in the NHL are usually the ones they grew up watching. So if you grew up watching the Leafs in the Norris Division with the Red Wings, St. Louis Blues, and Minnesota North Stars, these would be your favorite Minnesota sweaters, what you grew up with.
That definitely makes sense. What you're used to seeing.
my son likes Arizona's uniforms that I think are horrid. You know, the different designs on it.
The only ones are those mustard ones from Nashville back in the day. I don't know if anybody would want those back. Rasmus Sandin will grab a loose puck at center. He'll bring it back into his own zone, being watched by Ryan Reeves. So Sandin retreats behind his own net. Now he's checked by Foligno. Left the puck in the corner for Liljegren. Up onto the wing, and Campbell skated out. There's Sandin in over the Minnesota line, left side. Snapshot right on net, blocked by Fleury, and the rebound is cleared away by Spurgeon. Kirill Kaprizov picks it up in the Leaf zone. Top of the circle, tried a shot, and that was blocked. And back the other way comes Zach Aston Reese for the Leafs. Zach Aston Reese into the corner, swung it around back of the net. It'll come out. Kaprizov is on it. 3-on-2 Minnesota. Kaprizov cross-ice pass. And then Murray kicks the net off as Matt Zuccarello was coming down the left side. And Murray knocked the net right off. Crowd didn't like that.
Although we did see a game in Toronto, Mark Giordano scored a short-handed goal with the opposing team knocked the net off the moorings and a count. But you know, having this discussion with Joe Bowen before as well, Bart, is at what point do you start penalizing goaltenders for delay a game when this happens? I mean, in a sense, it's no different than somebody throwing it over the glass and getting a stoppage in play. When they do that, very seldom is it intentional. And Matt Murray's got a pretty good habit of doing this. And I'm not saying it's deliberate, but you just wonder at what point the league officials say that's enough.
Now Kaprizov after the puck. He's got it at the point down the left side. Kaprizov throws it in front. It came off there again. Murray kicking the post, and the Leafs clear it down the ice. And that'll be an icing call against Toronto.
Right now, in the stats in the face-off circle, Toronto Maple Leafs have won 57% of the draws.
Here's Kaprizov. Back on the right side. Into the corner trying to play it. And it's Justin Hall that has his man tied up. Now it breaks free. Camp after it again. Thrown in front. Zuccarello with a snapshot from the faceoff dot right on. Snagged by the glove of Murray.
Well, and this came through some traffic as well. Zuccarello right in the right wing face-off dot. Launches it short side on Murray, who's able to get the glove up. And now Murray's turning around and he's rocking the net. As if saying to the official, look, I don't know what the problem is here. I think that's Murray's subtle way of saying, hey, it's not my fault. Keeps coming off. Well, the last time it did come off, he gave it a pretty good shove with his pad.
Saying, hey, it's the ice crew. It's not me. Trying to take the blame away. Here comes Yarncroke. He'll flip it out at center. Trying to catch up to it is Giordano. He's got it right side in front for Marner, and it hopped over his stick as he was right in the slot in front of Marc-Andre Fleury. Now the Wild get it up through center, but it's turned over as Greenway lost it. Leafs back on it. Yarncroke will dump it in. Fleury stops it back in the net. He'll backhand it around to the boards. Tavares knocked it down the left side. Being watched by Dumba, rolled it behind the net. Picked up Marner, centered in front, and a chance at tight for Holmberg. Couldn't get it to go. Victor Mete keeps it in at the Minnesota line. Hands it off for Marner. Marner in the corner, looks in front. Waits, takes it around the net. Marner still on the puck. Now lost it, then he got tangled up with Matt Boldy. Two of them go down. Puck comes to the point. Victor Mete is on it. Mete with a shot. That got blocked. Put it into the legs of Dumba. Now he's got to race back after the puck, and he'll pick it up at his own line. Back Caldwell to center. Tipped in by Wayne Simmons. Dewar goes after it. Simmons strips him of the puck. Got it in front, and Kerfoot had a chance. Just couldn't get the shot on net. He had his stick tied up, and it's deflected as it goes over the glass in the netting and out of play. 6:43 gone here in the second period. It's a 2-2 game in Minnesota. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Join Bet365 now and discover the power of the world's favorite sports book. Watch thousands of live games, build your own bet. You can even bet on games where they're still being played. Seriously. And if you can't watch the games live, we'll alert you of any changes. Nice. Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook, and this is no ordinary betting app. Disclaimer, must be 19 years or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one, the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
We're two men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with a smile. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. So when you're planning your next move, call Two Men and a Truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Back into the slot, they shot, they score! And it is 6-0 Toronto.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
2-2 game here in Minnesota with the Wild and the Maple Leafs. Matt Boldy goal here in the second period has evened things up.
And from a Leafs standpoint, they've had some pushback, but I don't like giving up a goal when it's basically a 3-on-3 rush. And the Wild end up with a guy wide open.
Puck gets chipped out at center. Liljegren is on it. And he'll feed it back for Sandin. Sandin across for Liljegren. He'll gain the red line and dump it in. Out of the net comes Fleury. He'll stop it, leave it for Goligoski. Played it around the boards. Kept into the point by Liljegren, trying to feed it towards the net. Jarnkrok went to go back to the line. Nobody was home. It ends up all the way down the ice, and Murray's out of the net to stop it. And Murray will play it up ahead for John Tavares. Hands it off for Marner in stride. Hits the brakes over the line, threw it towards the net with Sandin going to the goal, but he was tied up by Goligoski. Tavares back to the point. Marner in the slot for Jarnkrok. He'll feed the point instead. Dumped in by Giordano.
Well, Jarnkrok had some time and space, didn't he, in the high slot. Didn't deliver it to the net. Instead goes back to the right point. Minnesota's able to recover and clear it.
Now it is Austin Matthews with a snapshot kicked away by the right pad of Fleury. Matthews after it on the boards. Eric Sedek in there as well for the Wild. Bunting comes over to help out. Giordano's got it, moves to the middle of the ice, takes a wrist shot. Nylander knocked down in front, got a piece of it with his stick. And now it comes free on the near side. It's picked up and chipped out by Nick Patan for Minnesota. Joel Eriksson Ek back the other way with a wrist shot on goal. That's scooped up by the glove of Murray. And now a little shoving here to the left of Matt Murray after the whistle with Justin Hall involved with Ryan Reeves. No surprise there.
And both of them seem to be smiling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a cordial conversation. But you give Justin Hall credit. I mean, you got a guy, Reeves, that has a pretty good reputation of being a tough guy in the National Hockey League. By the way, Rasmus Sandin looked like he was hobbling to the bench after that play that you talked about, Bartz, where he jumped in to the offensive zone. And I don't know whether left knee, left ankle maybe, has not gone to the dressing room, which is a good sign.
Appears to be okay now. He's giving the nod, saying he's fine. Now the puck picked up by Ryan Reeves with a snapshot that just goes wide from the high slot. Reeves with no points in his 12 games with the Rangers this season. And now he's after in the corner with Nylander tangled up with Reeves. Hollowell up on the wing for Nylander. That'll get out at center. Here's Spurgeon. Turns and dumps it right back in. Nylander pokes it behind the net. Hollowell up the board. Spurgeon after it. Centered in front. Went off a skate. And Nylander's got it. He'll stop and curl back in his own end. Now Nylander will carry it up to center. Gets it over the Minnesota line on the right wing with a high shot that's over the net. Off the glass. Grabbed the other way by Eriksson Ek. Joel Eriksson Ek gets to the point, and then he's tangled up along the boards. As the puck goes back to the net, the Leafs will swing it around the wing, and Kemp got it out. Bunting dropped it back for Kemp. Comes in on the right side, dropped it back for Rasmus Sandin, who threw it through the slot. Zach Aston Reese wasn't there yet to get a stick on it. Now Kemp waiting back in the net. Won't get the pass sold from Aston Reese. Now does, in tight. Played it through his legs, got the shot. And Marc-Andre Fleury to kick out the right pad. Lost his stick now. Fleury trying to reach for it in front of the crease. Meanwhile, it's Engvall on the left half board, spinning around with it. Had it poked away off the stick by Sam Steele. And it'll come to center and now back into the Leaf zone. Delayed offside as Kaprizov touched it. He was going to the net.
Well, at least with some opportunities. David Kampf made a neat little move. The puck came to him. He had his back to Marc-Andre Fleury. Put it through his own legs, turned and spin, and tried to shovel it blocker's side. And the Minnesota goaltender, who was able to keep it out for David Kampf, has been 13 games without finding the back of the net. Leafs, by the way, now shooting Minnesota by a count of 16-14 as we near the midway mark of the second period.
Here's Mark Giordano. They'll feed it up ahead for Marner. Onto the wing for John Tavares. Down the left side with a shot, and it's blocked by Dumbo. Went down to one knee. Tavares flipped it back to the goal. Goligoski after it in the corner. Dumbo there as well, trying to play. Goes up onto the wing. Tavares will pick it off. Top of the circle, feeds it over. Giordano walking in. Big block, rebound, scores. Calle Jarnkrok had it come to his stick. And the wide open net to bang it in. And the Leafs take the 3-2 lead.
Well, hockey cliche, 1,326. Go to the front of the net and good things will happen. Jarnkrok had an opportunity earlier in the period to take it to the net and instead put it back to the point this time. Battles Goligoski to get to the front of the net, spins away from the Minnesota defender, who then tried to lunge out at Mark Giordano. The shot was blocked, but the perfect rebound lies flat onto the stick of Jarnkrok. And Marc-Andre Fleury is nowhere near the left side of the net, and the Leafs have regained the lead 3-2.
Giordano and Tavares getting the assists on the Leafs goal.
Jarnkrok's 5th goal of the season.
Now Holmberg after it in his own end. He'll skate it out to center. Pontus Holmberg builds some speed into the Minnesota zone. That had it knocked off his stick as Dumbo will send it the other way. Gaudreau trying to bat a puck at the Leaf blue line. Cut off, and Kerfoot brings it back up ice. He'll leave it, and it's whistled high over the net by Holmberg.
Holmberg's had a couple of scoring opportunities in this game as well. Trying to score in back-to-back games.
6 minutes of ice time for Pontus Holmberg in this one this afternoon as a Wild get crossed up at the blue line, and that results in an offside. Calle Jarnkrok with his 5th of the year has put the Leafs back out front. It's 3-2 with 9:03 to go in the second on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What the world needs now is more than a vacation. We need to come back to feeling our best selves again. Back to inviting. Back to loving. Back to life. Back to the little bit of Jamaica that's inside all of us. Come back to being lively again. Back to laid back. So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
When they go low, we go low. I'm Mark Mandelson, and it's Black Friday at Bay Bluer Radio. Our lowest prices of the year on top-rated Sony OLED TVs. I love my Sony, and I've got one for you, too.
When they go fast, we go slow. Personal attention, expert advice, one customer at a time. In-store, online, or on the phone.
There's only one Bay Bluer Radio. The right sound for the right price.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Here's Alistair Johnston telling us about Canada Soccer's men's national team.
We try to embody you. We're a hardworking group. We're a group that, has been overlooked for a long time, but we're extremely talented, extremely hardworking, and that we want to be a group that you guys can be proud to watch and feel like represent you in the best possible way.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian, cheer Canadian.
From jumping the boards to jumping into your timeline, we are all about the Leafs. This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The second period is brought to you by Express Pro. Don't stress about finding a new job. Let Express Employment Professionals help. Visit expresspros.com for good local jobs in a variety of industries.
Well, 3 times now the Leafs have taken a 1-goal lead and currently sit 3-2 here in Minnesota.
Spurgeon from center rings it in around the boards. Liljegren goes after it. And it's poked back in the net as Sandin will bat it up on the wing. Spurgeon cuts it off. Ryan Reeves behind the net trying to play it. Reeves has got it. Feeds it to the point. Slid across for Spurgeon. Throws it high towards the net. Went off the hand of Austin Matthews into the corner. And then Reeves got his stick in on Liljegren and knocked him down. Penalty coming up here. As Sandin's got it up through center. Leafs get it into the Minnesota zone. Murray goes to the bench for the extra attacker. Austin Matthews back of the net. Bunting trying to track it down on the corner. He's got Eriksson Ek on him, who will touch the puck now. And Ryan Reeves will get on the score sheet in his Minnesota debut.
Well, the Leafs go to the power play here. It'll be their second of the game. They're 0 for 1. As it was Greenway that took the penalty in the first period for high sticking. Ryan Reeves doesn't like this call as he was shaking his head, chasing the play back into the Minnesota zone. Dean Emerson and Darby Hendrickson looking at the tablet behind the bench. Very seldom does looking at the video evidence change the team's mind who is being penalized or the call's going against.
Oh, seldom does it. Tavares will take the draw against Gaudreau, but he's tossed out, so Austin Matthews in to get it. The face-off in the Wild zone to the right on Marc-Andre Fleury to kick off this power play, and the Wild win it. Spurgeon's got it, and he'll clear it all the way down the ice. And Murray sets it up for Rasmus Sandin. Drops it back inside his own zone. Marner will carry it up through center. Marner leaves it for Matthews. Goes right up the middle, lost the puck. The Wild have it. They'll clear it back down the ice again. Murray will leave it for Sandin. Rasmus Sandin bats it back for Austin Matthews. Played for Marner through center. Turned it over outside the Minnesota line. Into the skates of Connor Dewar. The Leafs get it back. Tavares up ahead for Matthews in the Minnesota zone. Now onto the right boards for Nylander. He'll take it to the corner. Play it around to the left point. Marner checked by Dewar. Spurgeon got the puck loose. Hands it off for Jake Middleton. And the Wild will clear it down the ice again as the Leafs can't set up the power play.
Really a tricky shot on that Murray as well. Seemed to short hop right in front of him.
There's Pierre Engvall. Leaving it back for Austin Matthews. Matthews ahead for Engvall. Stops on the wing with it. Got it back to the point for Marner. Off to Matthews. That's broken up. And here comes Foligno with it. Foligno takes off down the wing and a whistle at the line. Was it an offside or did something happen off screen and behind the play?
Not sure. It might have been the offside, but as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, in the Leafs first power play, Minnesota leads the National Hockey League early in the season. 4 shorthanded goals, 4 different goal scores. Actually been on a pretty good stretch now with the penalty kill they've already had today. They've now killed off 27 of the last 30 in the last 8+ games. The power play was 0 for 4 in New Jersey, but was 4 for 10 in the 4 games before that.
30 seconds to go in the Leafs power play. Giordano outside his own line with it. He'll drop it back for Kerfoot. Skate it up through center and he leaves it. Now it's Engvall with it. Engvall tried to throw it to the front of the net. Yarncroke was going there. The Wild get it. They'll break it up and send it down the ice right on Murray. He hands it off for Mark Giordano. 10 seconds to go in the Toronto power play. Giordano to center. Brings it in. Got away from Fleury back in the Minnesota net. Frederick Gaudreau after the puck. Can't jam it past Yarncroke. Now Kerfoot trying to play it. Bunting in there as well. Hopped over his stick. Dumba's got it. He'll get it out to center and out of the box is Reeves. He'll grab the pass and then crossed himself up at the Leaf line and is forced to dump it in.
I don't know what the crowd's reacting to unless something happened behind the play. Look at that. They're pretty upset that Reeves almost went offside. It's pretty critical this early in the guy's tenure with a team.
They're all over him for 8 minutes of ice time in his first game. Boldy trying to get the puck back in the net. It's rolled to the right point. Leafs keep it in the Wild zone. Aston Reese back of the goal. Knocked it in front, and Marc-Andre Fleury to look over his shoulder. He'll get his glove on it. Covers it up and holds on with 5:45 to go in the second period. It's Toronto 3, Minnesota 2. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pavlov's dog proved that irresistible incentives bring predictable results. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, is proving it again. With perfect staging, pinpoint accurate pricing, intimate Toronto neighborhood knowledge, the Nick Pavlov real estate team will achieve a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and thrive. They need more student supports, like special education resources, mental health services, and extra literacy assistance to realize their full potential. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's KNOWMORE.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one, the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
Coming at you faster than a bullet from the blue line. This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs leading the Wild 3-2 here in Minnesota on this Friday afternoon. A little afternoon contest. John Bartlett alongside Jim Ralph. I'm sitting in for Joe Bowen today. And
it will go upper body, but obviously most important part of Bonesy doing play-by-play is a little off. So that's the pipes.
Here's Sandin. Back for Timothy Liljegren. He got it to center. Tavares blocked it, and it's dumped right back in. Murray will hand it off, and it's Sandin. Long feed ahead through center. That was off the stick. Now kicks back to the Leaf line. And the puck gets dumped in from the wrong side of center. That'll be an icing call against Toronto.
The Minnesota Wild have made the postseason 9 of the last 10 years, including 4 straight. But during that 10-year stretch, they've only won 2 playoff series. It was a back-to-back years when they were able to win the opening round. So it's been a struggle for them to get beyond that point. Number of personnel changes, coaching changes. And Timothy Liljegren looks like, was he shaken up a little bit on a hit late in front of the Leaf bench? That's all you need. We mentioned Sandin hobbled off. Yeah. Liljegren seemed to double over a little bit after a hit. That's what you say, Justin Hall, stay away from Ryan Reeves.
And they've been engaged.
We've got enough going on here with the blue line.
Puck picked up by Sam Steele. He'll get it into the Leaf zone. Spurgeon with a shot. Blocked, and now it comes back for Steele's side of the net. The Leafs jam up the front of the goal, so Steele couldn't get the puck through as it goes into the corner. Sam Steele trying to dig it free. Campton there as well. Comes back to the line. Spurgeon hands it off. Here's Middleton. Holds the shot. Now shoots top of the circle. That is blocked, and Matthews will lift it high in the air and all the way back to the Minnesota line. Garrett Spurgeon takes his time with it. Just over 4.5 minutes to go in the second period. 3-2 Toronto. Zuccarello works it in on the wing for Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov dropped it to the line. Dumba fired a shot that sails high over the net. Camp back of the goal into the corner for Hall. Off the boards to the point. Kept in though by Dumba. Now Giordano's got to go after it. Mark Giordano up the right wing. Tangled up by Kaprizov. He lost his stick. So did Steele. Camp trying to clear it out. Steele blocked it. Now it comes for Zach Aston Reese. He'll get it through center and play it into the corner. Pierre Engvall is on it. Engvall left it back to the net. Dumbo's got it. Hands it off for Goligoski. A weak pass. It'll make it out to center. And then Boldy coming in over the line, bumps into Justin Hall. Two of them go down. As Kerfoot will grab the loose puck at center. Got it down back of the net for Wayne Simmons. Simmons slides it to the point. Here's Victor Mete with a shot. That was kicked away in front by John Merrill. Kerfoot throws it to the far corner. Skating after it now is Hollowell. He'll feed it around, and Mete goes after it. Played it back behind the net. John Merrill is there. He's met by Holmberg. Puck came in front, just skipped away from Kerfoot. Leafs hold the zone, though. Kerfoot on it once again. Back to the point. Mete shot. Stopped by Fleury. Scramble in front, and it's cleared away by Merrill. Victor Mete keeps it in again for Toronto. He'll skate it to the right side, down to the lower circle, set it in front, and then Pontus Holmberg gets upended in front of the net. Here's Wayne Simmons after the puck. It's cut off, and the Wild will clear it out to center. Wrong shift there for the Minnesota defense. Matt Dumba is still stuck out on the ice as he's approaching 2 minutes. Now it is worked up on the right side. Toronto keeps it in again. Here's Bunting behind the goal, trying to come out in front, and a sweeping poke check by Marc-Andre Fleury, and a penalty coming up here to Minnesota. Fleury without his stick. He grabs one from his defense, but the puck is picked up by Mason Shaw, and now we'll get the penalty in the Leaf power play.
I think what happened is, remember Justin Hall had a moment where he took his man down in the Leaf zone. They let it go, and then Holmberg got taken down in front of the Minnesota net. They let that go, and now they finally, I guess, feel that we've had 3 of them in about 2 minutes. You better call one of them, and the Leafs are going to take advantage of it and get the power play. As it was Michael Bunting. Who else was able to draw the penalty? Marc-Andre Fleury's stick was there. But it looks like it's going to be John Merrill is going to take the penalty. With 2:29 to go, and a huge moment in this game as the Leafs have a power play and a 3-2 lead here late in the second period.
Don Tavares will take the face-off against Frederick Gaudreau to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury. Gaudreau won the draw into the corner. Spurgeon's on it. He'll fire it high in the air, and he gets it all the way down the ice. Fleury sets it up back of the goal. Sandin is on it. Rasmus Sandin up to center. Swings it back. Austin Matthews follows up. They'll play it off for Marner. Onto the wing for Nylander. Nylander around the net with it. Hands it off for Tavares. Now gets it back on the left half boards as Nylander played it in the slot. Went off the foot of Matthews. He fell, but he'll poke it back for Marner. Marner curls in the right corner. Up high for Austin Matthews. Down to Nylander. Top of the circle left side. Nylander feeds it below the goal line for Marner. Back in front for Tavares. Loose puck poked away. Matthews knocks it down at the right point. He'll keep it in. Austin Matthews hands it off, and it's Sandin that's got it. Rasmus Sandin plays it over to Marner. Takes a shot in front as Matthews tried to get a redirect. Now it is picked up by Jake Middleton, and he'll clear it all the way down the ice.
Third power play for the Leafs, and for the third time, the number one unit just can't seem to generate any kind of decent scoring chance at the Minnesota end.
47 seconds to go in the Toronto power play. Here comes Engvall down the left wing. Drops it off along the boards, back to the point. Bunting for Giordano. Right side. Set back up for Giordano. He bobbled it at the point, but he's able to slide it over to Bunting. Bunting back at the line for Giordano. Jarnkrok goes after it. He'll knock it back to the right point, and that one gets away, and it's a short-handed break for Minnesota. Here's Connor Dewar in. Great save made by Murray. Dewar tried to go to the left of Murray. He stuck the pad out, made the stop, and holds on, and now we'll get a lot of extracurricular activity around the Toronto net after that short-handed chance.
Boy, and Connor Dewar is one of the short-handed goal scorers for Minnesota this year as the Leafs have the puck get past him at the right point. And was that Jarnkrok? Bartz, was that the right
point? Over the stick of Kerfoot on the feed from Jarnkrok.
Kerfoot, right in front of the Leaf bench, had it bounced past them, and away go the Minnesota Wild. And it was Alex Kerfoot that actually grabbed the Dewar in a headlock, or somebody comes screaming in, and Kerfoot was able to get him in a headlock. I don't know if we're getting penalties out of this.
Well, Mason Shaw had jammed his stick in on the leg of Matt Murray as he was stretched out making the stop, and I think Murray took exception to that. That's why he was grabbing his stick afterwards.
But what gets lost to this with the Leafs getting caught and giving up the shorthanded chances, Matt Murray made a couple of outstanding stops on that. So circle that as a great moment. 19 seconds left in the power play, 48 seconds left here in the second period. Leafs holding on to a 3-2 lead, out shooting the Wild 19-18.
Leafs zone. Murray, David Kampf won it. He'll feed it back behind his own edge. Giordano hands it off for Hall, and Justin Hall gives it back for Kampf. He'll skate it up to center. Gains the red line and dumps it into the corner. Zuccarello goes after it. He'll bat it around. Goligoski left it for Dumba, and Matt Dumba sends it all the way down the ice to the side of the Leaf net as Murray will stop it, leave it for Hall. Power play comes to an end. 24 seconds to go here in period number 2. Now Zach Aston Reese with a shot steered away by the blocker of Fleury. Kampf in the corner with it. Takes it back in the net. David Kampf throws it towards the goal. Blocked by Fleury. Puck comes in front. Zuccarello's got it. He'll have to hurry. Pass up through center. Kaprizov trying to fight his way in the Leaf zone. He wanted to feed it back in front for Zuccarello. It's broken up. And that'll do it for period number 2.
Well, we were saying during one of the commercial breaks when the Leafs had the 3-2 lead, the Leafs have not had a history in the last few years of scoring ugly goals, throwing into the net, looking for rebounds and redirections. But I think safe to say all 3 of them have fit in that category and good enough for a 3-2 lead after 2.
Shots in the second period, 11-6 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Matt Boldy scoring for Minnesota. Kalle Järnkrok with a goal for Toronto. Brent Gunning and Gord Stellick coming up in our intermission. Through 40 minutes of play in Minnesota, it's the Leafs 3, the Wild 2. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As an expert traveler, you know what you want from a Black Friday sale. And it's not a bargain on a microwave. It's white sand and blue skies. So join us for Sell Off Vacation's big Black Friday sale and get instant savings off your expertly planned vacation when you book by November 27th. Because a microwave can warm up a cup of coffee, but it can't warm you up like a tropical getaway can. Let's make it happen. In store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
SellOffVacations.com. Visit St. Louis Bar and Grill to experience our new Mother of All Poutines. It's 3 pounds of classic poutine deliciousness topped with our signature saucy boneless wings and garlic dill sauce. Mother Nature, not as epic as this. Mother Goose, well, this ain't kid stuff. Stacy's mom, you wish you had all this going on. Take what your mama gave you to St. Louis Bar and Grill to experience the Mother of All Poutines and all the new instant classic dishes and drinks this winter for a limited time only. St. Louis Bar and Grill, celebrating 30 devilishly good years.
Whoa, my new backyard pool is so big, we call it the Bay of Bro.
The pool goes right up to your fence.
Dude.
You got a survey plan, right?
Bromeister don't need no survey plan, just sunshine and suns.
Bro, the city is gonna make you tear it out.
Don't put your brodacious reno at risk. Get an existing survey plan of your property before you build or renovate from protectyourboundaries.ca. Protectyourboundaries.ca.
Crestwood Preparatory College is a school where teachers make the difference.
A school that builds a student's confidence, develops effective study habits, and encourages creativity.
A school that enhances the traditional classroom setting with leading-edge technology, connecting students with the world around them, resulting in admission to the best universities.
Attend a Crestwood Preparatory College open house December 7th and learn the difference a Crestwood education can make in a student's life. RSVP today at crestwood.on.ca.
How are your phone pics so good at night?
The Rogers Wrapped in Red event.
You can see this whole street.
The Rogers Wrapped in Red event.
And the snowflakes.
The Rogers Wrapped in Red event. The Wrapped in Red event.
Unwrap our biggest Black Friday deals today. Get Samsung Galaxy S22 with nightography for nighttime photos as clear as day for as low as $0 a month for 24 months with an eligible trade-in, financing, and upfront edge on select plans. Visit a Rogers store for details.
PC Optimum hacks are some of my favorite messages. Here's another great one.
Hey PC, I love the biggest bonus redemption event of the year. It's my favorite way to save for Black Friday. I got $400 off today at Shoppers Drug Mart when I redeemed 250,000 points. That's an extra $150.
We love it too. From hand cream and nail polish to piling up the PC Optimum points. That's how we make things better. PC Optimum points can be redeemed in store and online.
The biggest bonus redemption event of the year runs November 25th to 30th. Exclusive to Shoppers Drug Mart. Restrictions apply. Details in store.
The Bay's Black Friday sale is on now, with savings of up to 60% off, including clearance. Get amazing deals on all your favorite brands, like Free People, Mango, Sorel, Blendtec, Dior fragrances, and more. Plus, new offers are dropping every day, and they only last 24 hours. So head over to your local Hudson's Bay store or thebay.com so you don't miss out. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with offers on hundreds of brands at the Bay's Black Friday sale. Exclusions and conditions apply.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
A 4-goal night for Mitch Marner!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Tavares will pick it off. Top of the circle, feeds it over. Giordano walking in. Big block rebound, scores. Calle Jarnkrok had it come to his stick. And the wide open net to bang it in. And the Leafs take the 3-2 lead.
That is still the score after 40 minutes in Minnesota. Brent Gunn and Gord Stellick here with you for the second intermission. Gordo, the Wild, they tie it up in that period, but good bounce back from the Leafs. And, important for a guy like Calle Jarnkrok to score. And that's not going to be the only thing he's judged on, but you find yourself in the top 6 and you pop one. Pretty good way to stay there.
Yeah, earlier, Zach, Aston Reese, right? You're getting some depth scoring. And, again, great road periods by the Toronto Maple Leafs. 5 great road periods. Matt Murray has stopped 50 of 53 shots.
Wow, you're quick. I wanted to get to that Armand stat.
I know.
Good job
when
by
Armand gets, you got to grab it quick. So that's what I took it right off the hop. But getting that kind of goaltending, whereas Marc-Andre Fleury let a real softie in the first period. And there's been a rebound or two that he hasn't been big on as well. Of course, he's just back off the injury list. So, boy, I tell you the moments, though. Rasmus Sandin, we had that familiar Leaf D going down with injury. He looked pretty hobbled when he went to the bench, but he came back on, and you heard John and Jim reference even Timothy Liljegren at one point. So, hey, no more injuries on the defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But again, we talk about it playing a very, very smart, intelligent style and not taking those big risks. And that's really, and I mean, that's what you do on the road in general, a difference between a road game and home game. Style game anyway, quite often.
You can't wrap your players or yourself in bubble wrap, but maybe you don't need Rasmus Sandin to be rushing to the net, and that's where he ends up potentially picking up an injury. Again, he came back, he is fine, but that certainly was a scary looking moment. The Liljegren one was just more a happenstance of it being Foligno that took a run at him, and no, not Nick Marcus, a little bigger and a little faster these days. He took the run there, but it actually looked like Foligno ended up kind of taking more of the brunt there. You know, it's funny. You and I were talking a little bit about this during the first period. You go back to one of the game the Leafs played in Minnesota last year, and it was in the midst of that trip in Winnipeg where things were just kind of swarming. I believe they had a nasty game against the Ducks not that far beforehand, and it's just kind of funny how different teams can feel year in and year out. You know, this Leafs team, the core, the pieces of it have felt so similar for so long, and you know, there are still a lot of players back from this Wild team, but it just doesn't feel like nearly that last year. They just felt like the heaviest, strongest, not the best, but the heaviest and strongest team in the NHL, and they just don't quite seem to have that same feel this year.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago, Mike Babcock, remember him?
I heard of him.
But he would talk about a Minnesota Wild regular season game. Great, that's a playoff style game. Mm-hmm. I like that. You know, we don't play them very often.
Yeah, when they weren't scoring any goal. Before Kaprizov got there, he would have loved it, yeah.
And so all of a sudden, that style you're talking about last year was more the team concept. They're lacking it, and that's why they go get Ryan Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
So couple shifts in particular, Reeves and Marcus Foligno really laying on the body. Leafs able to withstand it, and then Reeves takes a penalty, and that's always the the tough side about playing that role. Let's face it, everybody takes penalties, but they really have to be, you know, few and far between and what have you. But he's trying to make an impression since coming over. First game in the I think it's his first game playing in the Wild uniform. So yeah, it's almost like they feel they've been lacking what was part of their their karma, their image the last number of years and had to go do something about it in Minnesota.
Yeah, you go out and make that play, and it's funny. The play Reeves gets penalized on. I said to you when we're sitting here watching it, well, I don't know what one he's upset about because he punched him in the head and he tripped him. So you gotta pick your
choice.
You got to pick your spots to complain about the refs. And really, I'm just talking to myself here, and I will not be complaining today off the back of the 3 disallowed goals for the Devils. From a Leafs perspective, obviously the kind of biggest news for lineup wise coming into this was the bottom pair. I'm not going to say Mete and Hollowell have ran away with it and they look like NHL regulars, but they haven't been, you haven't noticed the big bugaboo. There's been no obvious pizza from that group. And for a third pair that really should be on the depth chart, like your 4th or your 5th pair, I think so far so good.
Yeah, Hollowell looking 9 minutes, 46 seconds. So say about 10 minutes of ice time on target, maybe to get 15, and maybe they'll just go down to 4D more in the third, who knows. But exactly what I talked at the start, Brent, about playing that smart style when you're injury depleted. It's your third pair of D, and particularly Mete hasn't played, neither's played him a lot of hockey, and Hollowell in general in the National Hockey League. So even more important and imperative, which they're doing, that they play for now that particular style as they kind of, feel their oats.
Yeah, they had to play a little different with Shalgren in the net. You may see that tomorrow when we would expect to see him. But so far, very good for Matt Murray and the Leafs, as you mentioned. 50 of the last 53 shots he has faced. So he is on an absolute heater right now. And good job for our man Armin hunting down that stat for us. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We'll be back with a little bit more in the second intermission. Leafs up 3-2 on the Wild in Minnesota. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker Remax West, also receives awards. Also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. They need a learning recovery plan that provides the focused and individual attention they deserve. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one, the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Hi, I'm Hugh Herron, chairman of Heathwood Homes. Tradition means a lot to us. Our reputation for quality, service, and customer care are all part of Heathwood's tradition, and that has made us the most successful new home builder. Thousands of people are now proud to be living in a Heathwood home in one of our many outstanding communities, and you can too. Visit heathwood.com to learn all about our fabulous communities. With Heathwood, you'll be home at last.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck. 2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
We always manage the puck well.
Oh, he's back at a bit of effort.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
And here comes Minnesota as Greenway hands it off in the wing. Pass in front. They score. Matt Boldy bangs it in past Murray, and it's a 2-2 game.
John Bartlett on the call there, filling in aptly for Joe Bowen. Jim Ralph alongside him. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick here with you for a couple more minutes. Gordo, busy one in the NHL today. We always like to look at the NHL scoreboard, brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can bet on things like player props, totals, or game outcomes across many different sports. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. What do we got going on, Gordo?
Well, we love game staggered start times, which is great. So for the smorgasbord of 14 scheduled games,
great.
There's 13 now because Colorado at Nashville postponed. They were looking for the Avalanche coming, but they got a flood coming. So
very good
in the arena.
Good job,
Boston Bruins going for an NHL record. 11 consecutive wins at home to start the season. The record is that's the record. They were down 2-0 in Carolina. They've tied it. It's in overtime now, 2-2. The Washington Capitals a 2-0 lead on the Calgary Flames. Montreal leads Chicago 2-1 in the third. And I'll tell you, a team that needs to win more than anybody else today, the Ottawa Senators have a 2-0 win. If you're going to get a win, Anaheim's a good place. The Leafs didn't find it, though. But Ottawa, 2-0 lead after one in Anaheim. We got 5:30 p.m. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. And then later we start getting to later games, 8 p.m. and later, to finish off a busy day.
Pittsburgh Leafs will get them tomorrow, so nice that both of them will be on the back half of a back-to-back. And much like when the Leafs had to go play a matinee after a day game, nice that they'll have, an extra hour or two of rest here on the Penguins. Not that that will make any bit of difference. Of course, Eric Källgren likely between the pipes for that one. Matt Murray has been the guy tonight for the Leafs, or this afternoon. It's not even tonight yet. It is a little dark outside, so bear with me there.
That time of year.
Gordo, just a minute left here before we throw it back to Bartlett and Ralphie. What do the Leafs need to do for a successful third period?
Well, rinse and repeat.
There we go.
Just like they've done the last 3 periods in New Jersey, and again 2 periods. We know the thing: a road game, injury depleted lineup. They knocked off the red hot New Jersey Devils with that approach. Minnesota's been a little bit of a tenuous team, a little bit of a skittish team, and again the soft goal tonight. But they got Kaprizov, they got some firepower. Just keep playing that intelligent game that the Leafs are.
Yeah, and kudos to Murray. He made the big save on the breakaway there, and kudos to Alex Kerfoot for throwing that guy in the Wild in a headlock as well. That was nice to see. Might have drawn a penalty if it was another ref out there, but it didn't. So I was thrilled to see it. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will be back for Leafs Nation postgame after hopefully a successful third period for the Leafs. John Bartlett and Jim Ralph are coming up with the third period next. Keep on listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I'm looking to upgrade my kitchen.
Bathroom, Mom. We need an extra bathroom.
Emily, hang up.
Ugh, this is so unfair.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I need a loan for some home renos.
Well, do you own your home?
Of course. I'm the owner.
Then you're approved. Enjoy your new kitchen.
Bathroom!
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
Visitor license 12616. Ugh.
At Toyota, our vehicles have always had quality and durability built right in.
Because I'll slam this car door a gazillion times.
Quality means everything to us because it means everything to you. Order a new 2023 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $34,171. Dealer may charge additional fees up to $1,221. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today. It's time to Toyota.
This Black Friday at Bell, you'll get savings and Canada's best 5G network. And it feels like, whoop, whoop. They also feel like,
oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
You might get this feeling too.
Woohoo! The Bell Black Friday event is on. Get on Canada's best 5G network with savings up to 70% on the latest phones and so much more. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca/Black Friday for details. Bell, Black Friday just got better.
In Ontario, we already have enough land for housing, but we don't have enough greenbelt. Many Ontario families make an honest living feeding us from greenbelt land. But if Doug Ford takes it away, only a few families will profit, and they're not farmers. Doug Ford and his developer friends don't need the greenbelt, but we do. Tell your MPP hands off the greenbelt at saveourgreenbelt.ca. Brought to you by Small Change Fund.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy Mackinac! Right off the bat, Austin Matthews takes it home!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
All set for the third period in Minnesota with the Leafs ahead of the Wild 3-2 with Kelly Yarncroke with the go-ahead goal in this one so far, coming in that second period. But now it's third period coming up here, and what do you expect from this one, Jim?
Well, this is now officially the 11th time that the Toronto Maple Leafs have taken a lead into the third period, the 11th time that the Minnesota Wild have trailed into the third. The Leafs 7-0-3 when leading. Minnesota's come back 3 times to get a point, 2-7-1 in the 10 times that they have trailed into the third period, although 24 of their 54 goals scored this season for Minnesota have come after the second period. A couple in overtime, 22 in the third period. So Matt Murray is probably going to be tested much like he was in New Jersey when the Leafs were able to hold on to a 2-1 win. Other than to remember, the Leafs have a 3-1 power play advantage. Those tend to even out by the end of the game. So Leafs may be forced to kill a couple of penalties, and Matt Murray may be called upon to be great, although maybe his best save of the game is his shorthanded breakaway so far.
You're saying the scales of justice tend to balance themselves at times?
I'm just saying, you look at the numbers, and we can prove it. Coming into this game, I know it's a 3-1 advantage for the Leafs in power plays right now. Coming into the game, 64 power plays for Minnesota. They were short 63 times. The Leafs 68 power plays, were short 70 times. So yes, does tend to even out.
After a nice and called face-off in the Wild zone to the right of Marc-Andre Fleury, John Tavares will take the draw against Sam Steele.
Austin Matthews out with Marner and Tavares.
We'll keep an eye on the line juggling here, maybe, for Sheldon Keefe. Tavares tried to feed it in front. It went off the outside of the net. Steele has got it. And it is cleared up ahead. Kirill Kaprizov is on it. Kaprizov down the left wing in the Leaf zone, throws it towards the net. It's high in the air, kicks over to the right board. Zuccarello is knocked down by Hall. Hall comes up with the puck, and he'll feed it around for Mark Giordano. Giordano bumped by Kaprizov. Now Hall gets it all the way to center, and it's Tavares in over the line on the right side. Backhand pass in front, intended for Marner, and it skipped away. Steele up with it. He'll put it off the foot of Tavares, and it rolls back for Rasmus Sandin, who plays it for Liljegren behind his own net. Here's Aston Reese up through center. Jumping up to try and knock the puck down was Liljegren, and jumping on the loose puck is Ryan Reeves. He's in over the line with a wrist shot that's high and wide. Reeves back of the goal on the loose puck. Feeds the right point. Kept in by Addison. Trying to go down low for Eriksson Ek. Where'd that puck go? Nobody can find it. I think it went into the netting and out of play.
Really vigilant, blew the whistle, is sort of looking to the side, glancing sideways both ways to make sure it hasn't bounced back. And then we're going to end up with a face-off in the Leaf zone.
Leafs trying to keep their perfect road record in November intact. 3-0 on the road so far this month. 7-1-3 overall in November. Maybe even through the camera hole, actually.
And there's the camera guy on camera right now. Bit of a grin on his face, but looks like he's got all his teeth, which is a good thing.
And the lens intact for him. Boldy tried a shot. It was blocked. Pierre Engvall will take it out through center. He's got it down to the Wild zone and feeds it back in the net. Fleury will stop it. Works it around the wing. Kicks free, and it is brought up through center by Frederick Gaudreau. Back Aston Reese. Forced back to his own end, so he hands it off for Sandin. Now over to Liljegren. Off the middle for Bunting. He is checked as Jordan Greenway stepped up on him, and Fleury now leave it back in the net, fired around the wing by John Merrill, and it'll make it out to center. Gaudreau got it over to Foligno. Looked like he might have been ahead of the play, but stays onside. He'll get it back to the point. And now Spurgeon after the loose puck in the corner. Boldy is checked. It comes free, and Nylander has got it. He'll knock it out at center, back to the Wild end. Eriksson Ek is on it, won the race away from Bunting. Now Middleton flipped it across. Joel Eriksson Ek down the wing. Trying to roll it towards the net. Went off the outside of the goal. Puck comes loose, and it's Middleton back to the point. Over to Reeves on the left wing. He'll shoot. That one missed. Kicks around for Spurgeon. Takes it around the Toronto net. Try to feed it back in front. Foligno after it on the right half boards. Reeves goes after it in the corner. Knocks it for Eriksson Ek. Slides it back to the left point. Middleton fires. That one goes wide. Reeves has got it, and the net comes off in behind Murray again. And Murray puts the arms up, gives a wave, so I'm not sure what you want me to do about it, but that's the opposite end of the ice from last time.
You know, you could say, look, there was a, 5-10 minute delay in New Jersey when the pegs were knocked off. They had to replace them. But now it's happened twice here in Minnesota, and you're right, it's happened at both ends of the ice.
That one's pretty good. That's the accidental on purpose by Murray on that one there.
And if I'm correct, I would probably have to guess that the fans of Minnesota just saw the replay up the scoreboard.
Dean Emerson not too pleased on the Wild bench about it. So now you would think after that happening twice this game that there might be a little more alert to the situation.
I don't know if I can recall the last time I've seen a goaltender on a play like that during the play get called for delay of game for knocking it off.
Well, the face-off to the right of Murray.
I was never strong enough.
No? Well, you had the pegs that went down about 3 feet into the ice. You didn't have the flexible plastic ones. Those things were anchored in your day.
So was I.
Yeah. Here's Zuccarello. Drops it back into the corner for Alex Goligoski. Tavares on him. He'll try to knock it free. Flipped up by Justin Hall, and he'll clear it out. And it's back inside the Wild line as Dumba's got it. Now played up ahead, and here comes Steele in on the right wing. Stops, feeds it into the slot for Goligoski. He was spun with his back facing the net. Couldn't get a shot. Now Dumba at the right point. Lays it off into the corner. Steele back for Dumba. Over to Zuccarello. For Dumba. Tried to throw it towards the net. That one goes wide. Zuccarello's got it right in front. Goligoski in the slot. Couldn't get a stick on it. Now he's got it at the left point. Feeds it into the corner. Hopped away from Steele. Marner goes after it. Played it over to Hall. Justin Hall had his stick lifted. Leafs don't clear it. Zuccarello along the goal line on the right side will take it up to the half boards. Feeds it off into the corner for Dumba. Kaprizov with it. Back to the point. Kept in by Goligoski. Zuccarello pulls it back for Dumba. He holds it in. Steele behind the net. Tangled up with Hall. Both of them go down to the ice, and the puck comes loose. That allows Marner to take off with it. Marner will get it to center, and the Leafs need a change, so Marner will slide it in the corner. Approaching the 4.5-minute mark here of the third period. It's Toronto 3, Minnesota 2. This afternoon contest from St. Paul, Minnesota. Puck gets snapped on him. Stopped by Fleury. Rebound in front, and Pontus Holmberg just unable to reach it. He would have had a good opportunity if he was able to get that on his stick.
Well, Gord Selleck made a really good point between periods. Marc-Andre Fleury has given up a number of huge rebounds on seemingly innocent shots. And we got another penalty coming up.
Yep, Kerfoot just inside his own line is going to get called. So the Wild will get the power play. And it's a slashing call against...
No, 15:09 to go. You say that these things have a way of evening out sometimes?
Yeah, maybe.
This is not a great one to take, but it's a slash, stick on stick. The stick breaks. And that's usually, although it looks like it was Kerfoot's stick, was the one that broke. So Kerfoot has gone for slashing at 4:51, so the Leafs not only lose a man here in this Minnesota power play, but one of their penalty killers goes to the box. Officially, Minnesota 1 for 1 on the power play, one shot on goal.
Camp will take the draw against Joel Eriksson Ek to the right of Murray. Right off the draw. Quick shot by Kaprizov is on net, and Murray makes a save as Kaprizov was clipped.
Well, we've already got Giordano and Hall playing over 16 minutes. 16:18 for Giordano, 16:05 for Justin Hall. And they may get even more time here in the third period. That's well above average. As you mentioned, Giordano at a season high 24-43 in New Jersey.
Here's Kalen Addison at the point. Hands it off, and a big blast by Boldy. Stopped by Murray. Dives back to poke it away, and then the Leafs get it and clear it down the ice. Fleury will set it up for Kalen Addison. Minute 40 to go in the Minnesota power play. Pass ahead, Joel Eriksson Ek with a shot right on. He was all alone, and Matt Murray shuts the door.
Well, you love the fact Matt Murray is out at the top of the crease and square as the Leafs give up an opportunity off the rush. And it was Giordano was the first one back on the chase, but Matt Murray had to come up with an excellent stop with the glove hand and hold on to it. I have really liked the way Matt Murray has battled. Sometimes it hasn't been pretty, but you see the shoulders are down, they're forward, and he doesn't just try to get big and block. He tracks the puck and fights through traffic to find it.
Puck gets cleared down the ice here as Fleury will set it up for Kalen Addison. Addison circles his own net. Now will skate it up to center. Kalen Addison drops it back, and then it's flipped along the blue line and grabbed by Kirill Kaprizov. Off for Zuccarello. Zuccarello checks up on the right half boards with it. Goes to the point. Here's Addison. He's got room. Walks in. Leaves it back for Boldy. Marner went after him. Boldy's got to chase the puck down. Swiped it into the corner for Eriksson Ek. Marner's got it back behind his own net, and he'll pick it up and clear it all the way down the ice. Fleury leaves it for Kaprizov. 49 seconds to go on the Wild power play. Leafs out front 3-2 here in the third. Steele, drop back, a rolling puck, broken up. Zach Aston-Reese taking off shorthanded. He's in alone. Stopped by Fleury, and then he crashes into the netminder and takes the net off in behind Fleury. And they both look okay as Zach Aston-Reese had a glorious opportunity there. For the Leafs.
Yeah, that was great anticipation. And as he tipped it, he started to take off right away, knowing that he was going to have a lane to the net. So now Marc-Andre Fleury, like Matt Murray did in the second period, comes over the huge breakaway stop that prevents a shorthanded goal. And I think Aston Reese tried to go 5-hole. But by the time he decided, I mean, he shot it about, 5 feet in front of Marc-Andre Fleury. There weren't a lot of options. As far as getting out of the way, Marcus Foligno was over quickly to pay his respects to Aston Reese. Actually, they're still chatting right now off the faceoff.
And Graham Skilleter, the referee, was also right there saying, hey, he tried to slow down, but you were right on him. There wasn't much you could do there, so diffuse the situation. As the Leafs get it, and they'll clear it back down the ice again with 30 seconds to go on the Wild power play. Spurgeon on it, and he'll feed it back for Gaudreau. Now back to Spurgeon, who starts out of the Minnesota end. Spurgeon on ahead at center, flipped in by Gaudreau to the corner. Caldwell goes after it. Liljegren is there, and he'll come up with it. Had a stick check, but got enough on it to get it out to center. And now Engvall jumps on it. He's one-on-one against Spurgeon with a hot shot that Fleury knocks away with a glove. Greenway through center. Dumps it back in. Power play comes to an end. Kemp will grab it. Out of the box is Kerfoot. He'll cross the blue line. Kemp drops it for Kerfoot, who fired it towards the net. Now it is picked up in the corner and cleared back out at center, and Hall is on it. Hands it off for Mark Giordano. He'll gain the red line and dump it in. Leafs get a change. Nylander after it, but it's poked away and brought back up now by Gaudreau. Dumps it into the corner. Connor Dewar's there. Got it around the boards. Back to the line, and Dumba will hand it off. Nick Patan trying to get it to the net. All kinds of bodies in the slot. Comes to the point again. Goligoski with a shot. And it was blocked by Austin Matthews, who got his leg in the way. And the Leafs will clear it down the ice. Goligoski back on it. He had Bunting right on his back. Cleared back out to center. Mason Shaw in front of the Leafs bench will poke it in the Toronto zone, and Nylander's there. He'll slide it back for Rasmus Sandin. Liljegren up to center for Bunting. Doesn't connect on the pass, though. Matthews knocked down, but he's able to slide it back into his own end for Liljegren. 12 minutes to go in the third. Toronto out front 3-2 here in Minnesota. Leafs on this road trip in Pittsburgh to face the Penguins tomorrow night. Now it's broken up at center. Here comes Ryan Reeves down the right side. Reeves throws it on net, steered away by Murray. Simmons trying to find the puck in his skates at center ice. Couldn't do it. Spurgeon is there. He'll get it across from Middleton from the red line, and he'll dump it in. Victor Mete after in the corner. Had to go off his stick. Hollowell had to jump up for it. Then he's taken into the boards in the corner by Ryan Reeves.
Now you're not in Kansas anymore, are you?
Reeves has it in his skates. It's knocked loose on the half boards. Rolls back to the point. Spurgeon fires. That's blocked in front by Kerfoot. And Kerfoot will lead it back the other way for the Leafs. Into the Minnesota zone left side. Trying to get it back in the slot. Then he's knocked down as the puck comes along the boards where Eriksson Ek will take it away from Holberg. Kaprizov circling at the Toronto line. Will slide it over to Addison. He'll shoot. Big block as it is stopped. And away with it comes Yarncroke. Into the Minnesota zone. Stops. Now circles. Looks for someone to have an outlet pass for. And he'll give it off to Marner. Marner dumps it into the corner for John Tavares. Back of the net. Tangled up with Merrill. Steele goes after the loose puck. Zuccarello can't find it. Now the pass ends up on the stick of Kaprizov, and he'll throw it out to center, and the Wild dump it in. Giordano goes after it, pokes it around for Hall. Hall gets it up ahead, and Marner will poke it into the Wild zone as he goes after it with Merrill there. Tavares trying to reach for it as well. Demble will force it back, and that one ends up off the glass and out of play.
Well, very early here in the third period, we did see Austin Matthews out with Mitch Marner and John Tavares. They've gone back to the regular line since then, but we'll keep an eye out to see if we have any more offensive zone faceoffs where they go back to that.
10:08 to go in the third. It's 3-2 Toronto on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When they go low, we go low. I'm Mark Mandelson, and it's Black Friday at Bay Bluer Radio. Our lowest prices of the year on top-rated Sony OLED TVs. I love my Sony, and I've got one for you, too.
When they go fast, we go slow. Personal attention, expert advice, one customer at a time. In-store, online, or on the phone.
There's only one Bay Bluer Radio. The right sound for the right price.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Oh, the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Why don't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. On Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
As an expert traveler, you know what you want from a Black Friday sale. And it's not a bargain on a microwave. It's white sand and blue skies. So join us for Sell-Off Vacation's big Black Friday sale and get instant savings off your expertly planned vacation when you book by November 27th. Because a microwave can warm up a cup of coffee, but it can't warm you up like a tropical getaway can. Let's make it happen. In store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
SellOffVacations.com. William Nylander is bringing back Big Willie style. Now more Nylander and Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
3-2 Toronto midway through the third period in Minnesota as the Leafs continue to hold on to the lead on the go-ahead goal from Yarncroke that came in the second period after they killed off that Minnesota power play. Here's Sandin. He'll backhand it off the glass in his own end. Knocked down on the boards by Jordan Greenway. Poked into the corner. Boldy's there. He'll roll it around. Comes back to the point for Dumba. Played it behind the Leaf net. Jordan Greenway out to the left half boards with it. Trying to put it towards the goal. That got blocked. It's flipped out, and Yarncroke will catch up to it down the right wing with a snapshot from the faceoff dot right on, and Fleury stops him.
Boy, that would have been pretty close to a high stick, was it not? As Yarncroke was able to knock it down into midair. Those might be the hardest calls to turn over in hockey. I think that was a high stick, wasn't it?
It certainly looked close.
It looked like his stick was well above his shoulders when he made contact, but fortunately for the officials and for the Minnesota Wild, this doesn't go to review because Marc-Andre Fleury was able to make the save.
Now a turnover in the Wild zone. Chance in the high slot for Nylander, and he's stopped by Fleury. Trying to beat him on the high blocker, and Fleury knocked it down. Middleton will poke it back to the Leaf zone. Matt Murray deflects it to the corner. Preston Hall is after it. Now it comes free up onto the wing, and it's skated out to center by Nylander. Down the right side over the line. Dropped it in the slot for Austin Matthews. Rips a high wrist shot. It goes well over the net. Matthews fights forward on the left half boards. Spurgeon in there as well. Fed to the point. It comes out, and Mark Giordano's got to take it back at center. Played over for Hollowell. Up ahead, Matthews drops. Hollowell, the Matthews fan of the one-time shot. Hollowell along the right boards, trying to get it back down low. It's broken up. The Wild clear it to center. Zuccarello drops it back. John Merrill in front of the penalty box has to play for Kirill Kaprizov. He'll wind his way in the Leaf zone. Back pass for Zuccarello with a one-timer kicked out by Murray. What a feed by Kirill Kaprizov. Zuccarello trying to hold it in, but it's broken up, and the Leafs clear it as Addison is back on it. Dalen Addison, long pass ahead up through center that eludes everyone, and that'll be an icing call against the Wild.
A huge stop by Matt Murray here off Zuccarello. Zuccarello's 6 goals on the season, but only 2 of them have come 5-on-5. But he very, very nearly had one there. Like you said, the spin pass by Kaprizov finds Zuccarello wide open in the right wing circle.
Matt Zuccarello, the third active undrafted player to play 700 or more games, joining Mark Giordano and the Jets' Brendan Dillon. Face off to the right of Fleury in the Wild zone. Leafs win the draw from the point. Wrist shot gets thrown through. It's deflected. Holmgren is on it. Feeds it around to the far side. Zuccarello's there. Bumped by Austin Matthews. Steele comes in to get the puck. He'll skate it to center and lift it into the corner. Liljegren after it. Hands it off for Sandin. Up onto the wing, and the puck gets cleared out and back down the ice as Merrill's on it in his own end for the Wild. Zuccarello fell at his own blue line. That creates an opportunity. Marner trying to cut in, but it's taken away by Merrill. Now Kaprizov chipped it for Zuccarello. In the Leaf zone on the right half boards. And a swing there almost on Pontus Holmberg. And Marner will throw it to center ice. Off the skate of Holmberg, and he'll give it back for Hull in his own zone. 7:25 to go in the third. 3-2 Maple Leafs leading. Here's Holmberg into the Wild zone. Pinned to the boards by Goligoski. Wayne Simmons trying to come up with it. He's bumped off the puck. Connor Dewar's got it back. Dewar leads it for the Wild. Giordano goes after it. He's tangled up. It's poked back behind the Toronto net. Now to the point. Here's Dumba on it. Dumba tried to move to the middle, hands it off, and a shot goes wide as it came off the stick of Patan, and now out at center. Simmons will jump on it. Goligoski is back. Wayne Simmons down the left side into the slot with a wrist shot. Took the hit from Dewar, but got the shot away towards the goal. Now Matthews in front, and a chance for Bunting, and he rolled it wide in the slot. Bunting knocks it down. Here's Nylander, scores! William Nylander snaps it home past the blocker of Fleury. And it's a 4-2 Toronto lead.
Now this line has had some opportunities in the third period. The last shift, though, that Matthews was out, John, was again with Tavares and Mitch Marner. So Matthews comes out again, and he's reunited with Bunting and Willie Nylander. And Michael Bunting was able to knock it down on the right wing boards, drop it, and just push it back to Willie Nylander, who walks in from the high slot and snaps it blocker side on Fleury. And for the first time in this game, the Leafs have opened up a 2-goal lead.
11th of the year for William Nylander. And the goal coming at the 6:37 marker of the third. As the puck gets sent down the ice in the Leaf zone. Kemp after it in the corner. Kemp trying to play it. Now it comes free for Boldy. Hands it off. Gaudreau in the corner. Looks to center in front. He did flip it to the net. It was knocked away by Murray. And the Leafs will clear it to center. Spurgeon on it. Hands it off for Matt Boldy. He'll circle in his own zone. Gave it away at the line for Middleton. Middleton cuts back. Now gets the center ice and will ring it into the Leafs end. Boldy behind the goal for Gaudreau. Kemp going after it. That's with Sandin, knocks it in the air. Engvall up with a puck. Pierre Engvall works it up for Zach Aston Reese. And he'll feed it back in his own end, and the Leafs will just slow things down as they get a change. Sandin try to flip it up, and it's blocked by Reeves at the blue line. Forced it back deep in the Leafs' end. Now it is picked up by Reeves. He'll send it around into the corner. Marner is there. Marner will go with a high backhand. He'll get it out where Merrill stops it and played it off for Addison. Quick pass up for Reeves, who deflects it in the corner. Hall goes after it. Eriksson in on him. Cleared around onto the wing, and Addison will feed it back into the corner. Foligno after it. Now Joel Eriksson comes up with it, tries to cut to the net. Reeves after it, back of the goal. Ryan Reeves tangled up with Mark Giordano. And the puck comes loose as Marner will clear it to center. Addison is on it. Under 5 to go in the third. It's 4-2 Toronto as Marner's got it down the right wing. And he'll roll it into the corner in the wild zone. Addison pokes it up ahead for Foligno. Marner held it into the blue line. Gave it for Jarnkrok. Dumps it back as Holmberg goes after it. He was caught up with John Merrill. Now it is Matt Zuccarello. That'll skate it into the Leaf zone. Left it for Steele at the blue line. Feeds it across, and Kaprizov fan of the one-time shot from the right circle as it ends up out of play. William Nylander with a goal to make it 4-2 Toronto. 4:26 to go in the third in Minnesota. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Pavlov's dog proved that irresistible incentives bring predictable results. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, is proving it again. With perfect staging, pinpoint accurate pricing, intimate Toronto neighborhood knowledge, the Nick Pavlov real estate team will achieve a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
I'm Johnny. As a high school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover from pandemic learning disruptions. Schools work best when the government listens to and respects the expertise of teachers like me. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca.
A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
4:26 to go in the third, a 2-goal lead for the Maple Leafs in Minnesota.
And for the Leafs, with a 4-goal game, just the 5th time now in 22 games that the Leafs have scored more than 3 goals in a game. Joe and I have talked about another broadcast that you thought out of all the problems that they would have, offense would not be one of them. And like I said, and having said that, they're 4.5 minutes away from going 17-5-5.
Marc-Andre Fleury on the bench, the extra attacker out for the Wild, and a chance for Kaprizov, and he's stopped by Murray, and the net comes off again on Murray as he came across on the goalpost, and the Wild bench is going to lose it on this one.
Yeah, and sorry, 12-5-5. The Leafs didn't want to throw in a winning streak so far, but yes, this is the 3rd time now, and Dean Evason is over on the Minnesota bench taking a look at it. And I don't think he likes it anymore, looking at the replay on the tablet in behind the bench.
Well, that one Murray slid into the right post, and it was a left post that hopped off.
Yeah, but a little bit of push the left skate. And you hear the boos cascading down, and let's blame it on the pegs again.
Yeah, they're going to bring the ice crew out to fix the peg on the net with 4:15 to go here in the third.
Now, at least this one, I mean, this didn't take away a scoring chance.
We'll put a little water in the hole and clean it out. A little rest here for the
Now, we may have,
Marc-Andre
Fleury may have gone to the Minnesota bench for the extra attacker already. 4:15 to go, but Minnesota down 4-2 here in the third
he was out
period.
for the faceoff. Yeah, they started 6-on-5 right off the draw. Just awfully monitored to the right. That's why.
I'm looking.
We need to have a little extra wide. That's all. And now they are ensuring that the peg is in good shape as linesman Al Murchison is helping out himself, trying to make sure it's going to work. So this has caused a little bit of a delay here. And fan yelling in the stands. It's 3 times. 3 times.
Yeah, this is not going over well in Minnesota, is it? But empty net, 4:15 to go. The Leafs holding on to a two-goal lead in the third period. And this year, Minnesota scored once, 6-on-5, giving up an empty netter at the same time.
Well, now they're bringing out the power tools. The hand ice pick wasn't enough, so the drill has made its way out to the Leaf net. Now, don't go down too deep and hit one of the lines.
One of the pipes.
Yeah,
what
one of
happened
the pipes.
in Nashville? We got a game postponed because a pipe burst.
Yeah, the pipe burst in Nashville, a water main.
Well, they're showing a woman on the TV screen that is just screaming at the officials. Oh, we better not. Try to pick up what she's saying on air. Drive home could be a challenge, though. I don't.
Tomorrow's game against the Blue Jackets and Predators has been postponed as well due to the ongoing issues. The water main break.
Maybe it was caused by the net being knocked off. They got to be careful with it.
All right.
Matt Murray seems to be I think he's got a pretty good grin in behind the mask right there.
He's off to the right of Murray. Leafs win the draw. Giordano's got it. He'll play it off the boards, and it'll make it out all the way down the ice. Goligoski back, icing the call.
Yeah, Goligoski didn't exactly use Google Maps to take the most direct route, did he? And I think Mitch Marner is arguing that now. Either that or it possibly went off a Minnesota player before it was iced.
Icing went off a stick, yeah.
The officials are talking about that now. So yeah, Goligoski was going to take a look at it here. Yeah, I think it is off a Minnesota stick, Barnes. So this may end up being a face-off at center ice. Yeah, Goligoski was, wow, no, the Leafs don't get the break here.
So the face-off in the Leaf zone again to the right of Matt Murray. Boldy will take the face-off against Tavares. Tavares wins it. Got the puck into the corner. It's knocked up the boards. And Goligoski at the left point will send it back in. Zuccarello goes after it. Checked by Tavares. Eriksson Ek trying to play it. Justin Hall knocks it loose. Tavares trying to knife it up on the wing. And Marner will get it up into the air. And it is helped out as Jarnkrok bats it down the ice. It'll go wide of the open net and be another icing call with 3:46 to go.
And this was definitely Jarnkrok trying to carom the puck perfectly off the right wing boards. I don't think there's any doubt that he was actually trying to score on this little bank shot. But it's not able to go, so we'll do her all over again. Marner stays out.
Fellow had it come right to his stick, and he snaps it into the wide open side of the net. With 3:34 to go in the third, it's a 4-3 Toronto lead.
Well, they've got a lot of breaks in New Jersey, but they don't get one here late. The faceoff should have been at center ice, as it appeared to go off a Minnesota stick, which would have negated the icing call. Leafs lose the faceoff, and by the time the shot from the right point caroms off the right pad of Matt Murray right onto the stick of Zuccarello, who snaps it into the empty net. And with 3:34 to go, Minnesota's back to within a goal. Yeah, and you can see Sheldon Keefe doesn't look thrilled over on the Leafs bench, but I mean, I agree. I don't think that should have been an icing call.
Eriksson Ek will take the draw at center with David Kampf. Kampf won it back for Liljegren. And now it is chipped into the wild zone. Fleury left it there, cleared around the boards, and back out at center. Liljegren had to back up with it. Eriksson Ek up for Kaprizov. Hip check coming in over the line, knocked down by Sandin. Puck comes to the point. Goligoski kept it in, backhand by Spurgeon in front. Leafs clear it out down the ice, and it'll come all the way to Marc-Andre Fleury. That was an interesting scoring chance there for the Wild. Here's Zuccarello. He'll skate it up to center. Got to the line, was knocked down. Toronto's got the puck back, and it'll bounce away as Eriksson Ek will feed it back for Addison. Kaprizov with it. Kirill Kaprizov drops it back for Dumba. He'll lift it in the air into the corner. Hall goes after it. Dumba right in on him. 2:42 to go in the third. A 1-goal lead for the Leafs. Carried out at center now, and here comes Bunting down the right wing. Gets it into the Wild zone. Stops in the half boards with it. Checked by Addison. Wanted to move it into the corner as Matthews was there, but it's broken up by Steele. Dumba will give it off for Boldy. Back to Dumba. Addison up through center. Onto the left side for Steele. He'll dump it into the Leaf zone. Rasmus Sandin after the puck. And that is cleared by Nylander. He'll get it to center. Goligoski is there. And Goligoski, the veteran, will lift it back to the corner. Matthews goes after it. Tied up with Spurgeon. And the puck gets shot over the glass in the netting. Fans want to call, but St. Pierre says it hit the glass first, and we'll have a face-off in the Leaf zone with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, right away, St. Pierre started banging the glass with his hands to let everybody know that it was not going to be a delay of game penalty. But you would expect soon Dean Evanston's going to call a timeout. Get his big boys rested to try to tie this game late. But the Leafs holding on to a 1-goal lead here with exactly 2 minutes to go in the third period.
And Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep,
back on the bench. So the extra attacker out now. On the face-off to the right of Matt Murray. Joel Eriksson Ek pokes the puck into the corner off the draw. Justin Hall goes after it. Kaprizov throws it on net right on Murray. He'll make the stop, and we'll have another face-off with 1:54 to go.
And another different combination as Michael Bunting is out with Tavares and Mitch Marner. Justin Hall and Giordano in defense.
Eriksson Ek won the draw. Goligoski along the blue line. Skates it to the right side, hangs on to it, goes down into the corner. Spurgeon back to Goligoski, moves to the middle, traffic in front. Slides it over to Boldy, into the corner for Zuccarello. Back onto the half boards. Boldy with a shot, that one missed. Kaprizov knocks it down. Kirill Kaprizov from the left point with a shot off the leg in front. Bouncing puck into the corner. 90 seconds to go in regulation. Leafs trying to clear it. They can't get it out. Boldy's got it now. Boldy without a glove will play it back behind the net. Took a whack off his bare knuckles as well. Kaprizov dumps it back to the net. Here's Zuccarello on it. He'll spin one way, now goes the other. Boldy in the corner to the left of Murray. Feeds it back around for Kaprizov. Tavares can't get to it. Hopped over his stick. Now it's Giordano off the glass and out, and it'll make it back down the ice. Kaprizov picks it up in front of the open net with under a minute to go. Leafs out front by 1. Kaprizov at center. We'll play it off to Zuccarello. Flipped it in. It's Sandin that'll wrap it around the boards. Cut off in the corner by Eriksson Ek. Now it's back of the Toronto goal. Kaprizov brings it to the left point. Kept in by Dumba. He'll dump it down for Kaprizov. Tied up. Greenway back in the net trying to play it. Wanted to go back for Kaprizov. They fight for it in the corner. Now it's swung around to the far side and shot towards the net. Tipped wide. Kaprizov trying to catch up to it again, but it's Engvall that's got it. He'll clear it out as it was knocked down by the Wild as Greenway got a piece of it. They fight for it at center. Zuccarello's there, and he'll chip it in with 18 seconds to go. Rasmus Sandin in his own end off the board. Doesn't connect with Liljegren. Pass for Kaprizov. Shot. Save made. Loose puck in front. Engvall's got it off the glass. 8 seconds to go. Back to center. One last rush here for the Wild. Dumba onto the wing. Zuccarello trying to get it towards the net. Can't do it. Broken up by Liljegren. And the Leafs hold on to win it 4-3 in a Wild finish in Minnesota.
And again, Matt Murray comes up with some great stops to preserve a 1-goal win. The Leafs now, Bart's just one regulation loss in the last 13 games. Back-to-back wins against the New Jersey Devils. As Murray, a huge left pad save off Kaprizov. Man, I mean, you wouldn't want a better player in position to shoot if you're the Minnesota Wild, and Matt Murray again comes up with some huge stops. The Leafs score some ugly goals. And we'll head to Pittsburgh now to try to make it 3 in a row on the road against the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team that they beat 5-2 in Pittsburgh just a couple of weeks ago.
Well, that is a game saver by Matt Murray, and I think you might know where you'll go with this. But the player of the game is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook with 80 million members worldwide. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Who do you have tonight, Mr. Ralph?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go with Matt Murray again. I mean, even though, you like the fact that Aston Reese scored, Yarncrook was able to get on the board and score. Mitch Marner extends the point streak with a goal to open the scoring of the game for the Leafs. But sometimes you just need that one big stop at the right time. And Matt Murray did that one time many times. And let's not forget the shorthanded breakaway in the second period could have turned the game around as well. So Matt Murray, who I'm sure is going to get the night off tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, let's give him another shutout with the victory here tonight. Or this afternoon.
This afternoon, the afternoon game.
Yeah, even in Minnesota is an hour time difference, too.
That's right. So that definitely makes it the afternoon. And then, you talked about a Murray, though. The big save at the end, the shorthanded save makes earlier in the game. Key saves at key times for the Leafs this afternoon.
And he was able to get long stretches of rest for the guys in this one as well.
Yes.
They come out with the hardware to fix the nets again. But yeah, from a Leaf standpoint, it wasn't the prettiest, but you really like the fact, like I said, you go from the start of the year, you lose your top 2 goaltenders coming in. Now you lose 3 out of your top 4 defense. Then Jordy Ben comes in, plays well. You lose him as well. And here's the adversity early on in the season. And sometimes when you have an excuse to lose, you do the exact opposite, and you give the Leafs full credit for that.
Well, they keep their perfect record on the road intact here in the month of November as well. The Leafs win it 4-3. Stay tuned. More to come with the post-game show from Minnesota. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
We're live with NBA Rookie of the Year Scotty Barnes, fresh off the court.
Welcome to the Subway. Eat fresh, refresh.
Tell us your thoughts on Subway's new rice bowls.
This is news. What if we call it Bowlway?
Okay, how about we take a look at these ingredients?
Seasoned steak, rice, avocado, chipotle sauce.
Delicious.
Bowlway by Scotty. Subway. Eat fresh, refresh.
For a limited time, save $3 with code BOWL3 only on the Subway app. Freshly prepared for your order at participating shops. Terms apply.
John, you promised you would book our yard and eaves cleaning by now.
John forgot, so he quickly turned to Jiffy.
It's all taken care of. Jordan and Mike will be here in an hour.
How could you get it done that quickly?
Jiffy.
Jiffy?
Jiffy is the fastest and easiest way to get things done around the house. Reliable pros booked in seconds. It's that simple. Just download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com. Use code FAN590 for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, fast and reliable home maintenance.
Share more with family with CIBC Global Money Transfer. We know achieving your goals in Canada happened with the support of family. With CIBC Global Money Transfer, we have 0 transfer fees, so more of your money goes to thanking those who matter most. Share more in over 120 countries, and now get up to $300 back on your first transfer with promo code GMT Event. It's our way to share too. For details, go to CIBC.com/GMT Event. Conditions and CIBC foreign exchange rates apply.
You've been listening to Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. Molson Canadian, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
At Real Canadian Superstore, open your PC Optimum app now until November 30th to earn 25,000 points for every $100 spent on home, electronics, and more. That's like $25 in points. Wow. Super points, super deals. See Flyer for details.
It's time to change your tires. The new Kumo Road Venture AT52 offers a confident all-terrain ride with deep grip on snow and ice. Designed for drivers that want on- and off-road performance with the added security of 3 PMS Snowflake certification and road hazard coverage. The AT52 provides year-round traction, including winter driving conditions. Purchase now and receive a $40 rebate by mail until December 31st. Find a Kumo dealer near you by visiting tirediscounter.ca/locations.
Black Friday is on now at Mark's. From November 24th to 30th, save up to 70% off in-store and online. Great savings with new offers on hikers, fleece, jackets, and more. Visit Mark's in-store or at marks.com to shop and save.
In Ontario, we already have enough land for housing, but we don't have enough Greenbelt. The Greenbelt's food, jobs, and clean water are counted on by millions of people. So why is it being given away to less than a dozen developers? Doug Ford and his developer friends don't need the Greenbelt, but we do. Tell your MPP, hands off the Greenbelt at saveourgreenbelt.ca. Brought to you by Small Change Fund.
Our poutine's so big it's got its own weather system.
Our poutine's so thick it costs $6 in gas just to drive around it.
No, our poutine's piled so high it comes with its own oxygen tank.
Our poutine's so heavy it requires a license to operate.
No, not that heavy.
Oh, yes.
It's heavy.
Experience the mother of all poutines at St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's 3 pounds of classic cheesy poutine covered with our garlic dill sauce and signature saucy boneless wings. Check out all the new instant classic dishes and drinks this winter only for a limited time. St. Louis Bar and Grill, celebrating 30 devilishly good years.
Banking packages from Scotiabank have unique rewards for unique people like you. Whether it's a backpacking honeymoon or a new home with a yoga studio, we want to help you do what you love and get rewards you'll love. Visit scotiabank.com/ultimate350. Conditions apply. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
In life, there are those who do and those who do more. Just like F-150. Doing more is part of our DNA. It's why F-Series has been Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 56 years. We don't raise the bar. We are the bar. Right now, get 1.49% APR purchase financing for 72 months on select new 2022 F-150 models. Your Toronto area Ford stores have them available now, but they won't last. Get your 2022 F-150 today. Visit your nearby Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
Are you over 18? You may be eligible to receive your COVID-19 bivalent booster at Shoppers Drug Mart. Book today at shoppersdrugmart.ca/COVID. Subject to vaccine availability. Ontario only. Limitations apply.
We need to talk about what just happened. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
They fight for it at center. Zuccarello's there, and he'll chip it in with 18 seconds to go. Rasmus Sandin in his own end off the board. Doesn't connect with Liljegren. Pass for Kaprizov. Shot. Save made. Loose puck in front. Engvall's got it off the glass. 8 seconds to go. Back to center. One last rush here for the Wild. Dumba onto the wing. Zuccarello trying to get it towards the net. Can't do it. Broken up by Liljegren. And the Leafs hold on to win it 4-3 in a Wild finish in Minnesota.
For the second straight game, that's how it felt like a Leafs game ended. And hey, for the second straight game, they're walking away with a pair of points. That is the final for the Leafs, picking up a road win in Minnesota. Gordo, we got a little bit of a sprint edition here of Leafs Nation post-game before Ben and Blake get in here and talk about the Leafs, I'm imagine, and many other things. We always do like to give you the 3 stars. It is time for the Molson 3 stars, brought to you by Molson Canadian. Pretty simple for us tonight. We'll start with the first star, Matt Murray. He was tremendous. He made a game-saving save for them. Made a few more before it got really dire there. He's been as advertised, or actually better than advertised if you listen to the people in Ottawa. Calle Jarnkrok, he gets bumped into the top 6 and picks up a goal. And then we were going to put Justin Hall here, but for narrative purposes, I'm putting William Nylander. He gets the goal. Why is that important? Well, he ties Boreas Salming for the second most goals by a Leaf as a Swede, or as a Leaf by a Swede. There Correct. You go. Only 272 more to catch Matt Sundin for first. So, hey, Leafs, if you're a Swedish player, this is where you want to be, apparently.
Yeah, and of course, John Bartlett making that call. It was a wilder finish than you needed. And get well, Joe Bowen. We'll find out if his pipes are back to normal to do tomorrow night's game against Pittsburgh. And, yeah, Rasmus Sandin, there's a lot of things he did right, but he made Matt Murray the first star by the giveaway near the end to make that one particular big save. We know Kirill Kaprizov, I mean, Minnesota Wild was full value, some of the players, but hey, we're a little biased about the 3 stars. Hey, the Leafs without their top 3D, when you least expect it, they're coming up with really, really impressive road wins back-to-back against New Jersey and now Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm sitting there saying, this is a great learning experience for Sandin that he's out there with 18. Oh, no, there's a pizza. Yeah, not what you wanted from Rasmus at the tail end there, but all in all, definitely what you wanted for the Leafs as they pick up a win on the road in Minnesota. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will continue to put a bow on another win for the Leafs, this time on the road in Minnesota. Leafs Nation postgame continues next on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ontario has a plan to get students caught up. It starts with kids back in the classroom all year, with sports, clubs, and field trips. It includes new tutoring supports, and teaching new experiences in science, technology, engineering, and math. So students have the skills they need for the jobs of tomorrow. See our plan at ontario.ca/catchup. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a callback. You need a job. Express Employment Professionals can help. We'll connect you to the right company. We're committed to your success and never charge a fee to find you a job. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Find your location at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker Remax West, also receives awards, also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
Don't worry, we'll turn the lights off when we leave, but we're not done yet. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Now Matthews in front and a chance for Bunting. And he rolled it wide in the slot. Bunting knocks it down as Nylander scores! William Nylander snaps it home past the blocker of Fleury. And it's a 4-2 Toronto lead.
There it is. William Nylander potting the goal. The Wild would get one more, but that would be the final 4-3 for the Leafs on the road in Minnesota. As I mentioned, that goal ties him with Borje Salming for the second most goals by a Swede as a Leaf there. Just a few back from Matt Sundin. We always like to take a look at the NHL scoreboard, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Gord, I'm afraid to ask, but I think you have some happy news about the Boston Bruins.
Well, if you're a Boston Bruin fan, I mean, the Leafs are hot, but who's hotter in the Atlantic Division than Boston?
Yeah.
Down 2-0 to Carolina. They come back tied, win in overtime. 12 consecutive home wins to start the season. That's an NHL record for the Bruins. Meanwhile, Washington shuts out Calgary 3-0. Montreal hangs on for a 3-2 shootout win over Chicago. And the Ottawa Senators up 4-0 after 2 periods against Anaheim. A reminder, Colorado, Nashville, that game's postponed due to a water leak, to call it understatement, in Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, and a bunch of games that are getting underway tonight. We got 13 games now in all with the one postponement. So a big Thanksgiving period, afternoon and evening in the NHL.
Yeah, you got to love it. A little bit of a shakeup in the NHL schedule. Plenty of matinee affairs, including the Leafs picking up a win. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will continue to put a bow on the Leafs' second straight win. They will look to make it 3 in a row when they continue the road trip. That's tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, but we will continue to wrap up the Leafs win over the Wild. You're listening to Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's the difference between looking good and looking great? 2 words: Carpe Diem. It's the new and reimagined men's clothing store on the Danforth, where a menswear expert will help you to find that extra oomph with your fashion. Where you'll find a one-stop men's shop while avoiding the mall crowd. Where you'll experience personalized service with excellent men's clothing and accessories from European and Canadian brands. And you'll be hearing a whole bunch of wow, only at Carpe Diem, 569 Danforth Avenue.
Hey, kiddo. I thought you were shoveling.
The Rogers Wrapped in Red event.
Streaming a movie? Out here?
The Rogers Wrapped in Red event.
Must be that extra data I got you.
The Rogers Wrapped in Red event.
Wait. I love this part of the movie.
The Wrapped in Red event.
Unwrap our biggest deals of the season with mobile plans from $60 a month. Great gifts for them, great deals for you. Visit Rogers.com or a store near you for details.
As an expert traveler, you know what you want from a Black Friday sale. And it's not a bargain on a microwave. It's white sand and blue skies. So join us for Sell Off Vacation's big Black Friday sale and get instant savings off your expertly planned vacation when you book by November 27th. Because a microwave can warm up a cup of coffee, but it can't warm you up like a tropical getaway can. Let's make it happen. In store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
SellOffVacations.com.
Crestwood Preparatory College is a school where teachers make the difference.
A school that builds a student's confidence, develops effective study habits, and encourages creativity.
A school that enhances the traditional classroom setting with leading-edge technology, connecting students with the world around them, resulting in admission to the best universities.
Attend the Crestwood Preparatory College Open House December 7th and learn the difference a Crestwood education can make in a student's life. RSVP today at crestwood.on.ca.
After a meal like that, you deserve a little dessert. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs are winners on the road in Minnesota. 4-3 is the final. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick putting a nice little bow on it for you here. Matt Murray, we gave him the first star of the game, but a lot of people, I think, are going to be giving him a tisk if he keeps doing this with his posts. You know me. I want to give every Leaf the benefit of the doubt, but even I am saying, you got to dial it back. He is quickly becoming the Michael Bunting of goaltenders in terms of officials having their eyes very closely trained on him.
Well, and of course, Real Kipper and Born, Nick Kiprios tweeted, he said, okay.
I was going to say, did Kipper make a name change? Yeah. He's just stolen Justin's along
That's
with
it.
him there.
It goes, it all blends together. No, he just mentioned that. It's likely, he just saying, this is the kind of thing that's going to get on the general manager's agenda. You know, they addressed about the puck going over the glass, about whether it's intentional, unintentional. Now it doesn't matter, depending where you shoot it from. And Matt Murray was actually, they could have used this when the Boston Bruins came back and beat the Leafs way back when in Game 7. James Reimer take a little, kick the thing off, get a little pause. So Matt Murray, the master at it, but a little bit too good. And the Minnesota Wild fans weren't too wild, to say the least. And to your point, yeah, he's really pushing the envelope. And you can see, like, it's technically not illegal because it's not, but when you do it so many times and say they're all unintentional, someone's going to take him to the principal's office at some point.
That's the thing. At a certain point in time, some ref is going to say, intent, not intent, I don't care. I've seen this too many times. You're getting the delay of game. It's very much in play there. What is not in play is Matt Murray tomorrow. There's no chance he's going to play a back-to-back. I would not imagine at any point this year, let alone this early on in him coming back. Samsonov not ready. It's going to be a tough test for the Leafs tomorrow. Still missing a ton of defensemen, and it's going to be Erik Källgren between the pipes. They're going to have to really play this kind of dialed-in game that they've been playing. And again, I think it is a little frustrating in terms of offensively what you're seeing from them, but I think the positive spin on that is that if you can take these habits and use some of them when you can open things up a little more when you have your D and goalies back, should bode well for them.
Yeah, and of course we have the game on the Fan tomorrow. Leafs are in Pittsburgh against the Penguins, and
a backup in Pittsburgh.
And also in Matt Murray's case, he may not play tomorrow. He won't play tomorrow, but Monday he might be one of the 3 stars of the week in the National Hockey League. He's played that well. I don't get carried away with that, but they do name 3 stars. It's kind of a gimmicky thing, but it's kind of a nice thing to get. But what a story he's been the 2 weeks since coming back from injury. And now the team right now. And you know what? There's so many things, and we'll get a chance to talk deeper dive tomorrow about it. But this kind of playing through, let's say, adversity. I mean, they were so quick to make excuses. Jake Muslin's hurt. John Tavares is out. That's why we lost a playoff series. And all of a sudden, man, you're playing like this with 3 top defensemen out. That hopefully is a team growing lesson about
handed out by the team there. Gord Stellick, Brent Gunning here with you again. We'll be back tomorrow. Leafs on the road in Pittsburgh. 7 o'clock puck drop. I believe we're on at 6 across the network there. Leafs picking up 2 points with a 4-3 win on the road in Minnesota. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We'll be back tomorrow. Keep on listening to Sportsnet 590 The Fan. This has been Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bay's Black Friday sale is on now, with savings of up to 60% off, including clearance. Get amazing deals on all your favorite brands, like Free People, Mango, Sorel, Blendtec, Dior fragrances, and more. Plus, new offers are dropping every day, and they only last 24 hours. So head over to your local Hudson's Bay store or thebay.com so you don't miss out. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with offers on hundreds of brands at the Bay's Black Friday sale. Exclusions and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Ben Ennis. The Leafs clogged my eaves last year, so I hired someone to come clean them. Easy enough, right? Wrong. The guy didn't even show up, and boy, did we have a mess. So this year, I turned to Jiffy, and it was smooth sailing. My Jiffy took 30 seconds to book, and Corey came right on time the very next day. Jiffy to the rescue once again. Download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com with the code FAN590 for $25 off your first job. Jiffy.
Runners. Then Saturday, it's the public live auction. Bidding starts at 9 a.m. Find cars, trucks, SUVs, and commercial and industrial equipment. But wait, it's not over yet. Online bidding goes till Monday at noon. Bid early and bid often at NorthTorontoAuction.com. Preview the lineup, register to bid, and learn more at NorthTorontoAuction.com.
So. 439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Satisfy your sandwich cravings with our veal or chicken ciabatta sandwiches. Lightly breaded cutlets covered in our home-style tomato sauce and toasted to perfection. Ciao, I'm Dominic Primucci, inviting you to try them today and taste the difference.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan. CJCL Toronto. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Ben Ennis and Blake Murphy, and my circadian rhythms are thrown totally off. Like, not only did we just watch a Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game, Blake, but my kids had the day off today. I had my American portion of the family over yesterday for Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know where I am, what day it is. I don't know what's going on.
I'm all sorts of messed up as well, and I don't have the kids' excuse. I just, it's been a week. It's been a lot. I've had a couple multi-show days. We came in here to watch the World Cup game together. We came in here to watch the Leaf game together. Yesterday, there was obviously Bills before work, football game on during the day. It has felt like yesterday felt like a Sunday weirdly, and today feels like a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, are you a creature of habit?
No, I work in sports.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So for a long part of my career, I haven't been able to be. But then, I started actually working weekdays. I used to work 6 and 7 days a week, and it's hard to have a routine when you're working nights 6 days a week.
Tell you, try living the freelance life for a couple years where
no thanks.
Every extra second you work could be a little bit more money or...
But I've come accustomed to a certain way of living, Blake, and now it's very strange. Although I will... Listen, the more afternoon sports they can throw at us, the better.
I mean, we've got a basketball game that's about to start here that we could just keep an eye on throughout the day.
I love it.
Throughout the show, yeah.
Yeah.
Our Timberwolves against the Hornets.
They are ours for some reason. No, I thought they were our Thunder.
They're everyone. They're our Magic.
Yeah, right.
They're everything. Is whoever I feel like watching at the time is our.
All right.
No, the Wolves aren't even an hour. They're just more hour than the Hornets.
They're their T-Wolves. So yeah, that's we got sports happening right now, but let's talk about the sports that just happened. Today's top story brought to you by Thornhill Toyota, your local Toyota store since 1969. Come for the history, stay for the future. Dufferin north of Steeles. Is the Toronto Maple Leafs doing it again? Limiting the damage, getting great goaltending, and beating a team that I guess they should have beaten the Wild off to a kind of a mediocre start this season, but Leafs beat the Wild 4-3. And I had this great stat that I was going to throw forward at you that 14 times in 22 games they've held their opponents to 2 goals or fewer in regulation, but now it's only 13 times because the Wild got a late 6-on-5 goal in that hockey game. But that's the story of this Leaf season, Blake. They have no defensemen. They have 50% of the intended goaltenders to start the season, and they just limit opportunities after opportunities.
And the odd time they don't limit opportunities Matt Murray came through with a monster save in the closing seconds today, going east-west to bail them out. That was a game-time goal. It should have been in the back of the net, and that would have been 2 in the last 4 minutes or so with the goal he pulled for Minnesota. So yeah, they've done a great job limiting opportunities, but you also have a guy like Matt Murray coming through. I know our guy Sam McKee is a big Matt Murray guy, and he's doing victory laps right now. Murray up like well over 920 at this point, I think, and even the third goal, like you could quibble with one of the goals he let in this one. It was like I had it in my notes at one point, like that's kind of the first soft Matt Murray goal, and then he made a bunch of good saves. Yeah. And then the third goal that almost had us looking at overtime or something was not his fault at all.
No, you know what they did get, though? They got better goaltending than the other team.
Yeah.
And I know you can get caught in this, like, there's like a baseball pitcher wins thing where it's like, oh, did you outdo the other guy? But here's the reality.
Yeah, look at the quality of the goals.
Well, here's the reality. In the 6 postseason series that this generation of Toronto Maple Leafs teams have lost in the postseason, they've never gotten the superior goaltending. Mm-hmm. So I know it's just one game, but I'm thinking about that. Matt Murray outplayed Marc-Andre Fleury, who's coming back from injury and looked a little rusty. But yeah, the one goal is the difference in obviously a 1-goal hockey game. Matt Murray made the saves he had to make, and yeah, did Kaprizov maybe shoot it right into his pad in the final seconds of the game? Whatever. They all count, and he's been great.
Did he knock the net off a couple times with at least a little bit of intent? Who's to say?
Yeah, that is okay. I did want to get to that at some point. So yeah, Matt Murray, it was like 3 times in this hockey game, a couple of times in the last start he made. He's getting into a habit of very opportune moments in which the net comes off its moorings. Now, I didn't get called for a penalty today, and who's to say how intentional they all are? I would think that at least one of the 3 that we saw today, if not all 3, were beneficial to Matt Murray.
Yeah, I would say there was one that in the moment looked like it was going to be and actually cost them because the play had gone the other way, and that brings the faceoff back your way. I think the most you could let the absolute fullest deniability he would have is I slide aggressively across my crease because there's no reason not there's not a bad outcome if you knock the net off unless that puck was going in anyway. So I just don't think there's a real cost until you've gotten a warning. So if he wants to be a little aggressive with it, I guess he feels comfortable with that.
Well, and I would say that if the National Hockey League officials were not on notice to be looking out for that before this game, they certainly are now.
Was it the Tim Thomas thing? Was it him who always did it? I remember one of the Bruins series. I can't remember if it was Thomas era or Rask era, but just losing my mind at how often that was happening.
Oh, it's a strategic advantage that has been used throughout the course of hockey history,
and it's evil when Boston does it.
That's
it's incredibly smart when Matt Murray does it.
Well, and I would say that you're right. Keep doing it until you can't do it anymore. To me, it's trending into like the Michael Bunting, Nazem Kadri scenario where you look at the leaders of penalties drawn the previous season. It's hard to do that 2 years in a row because people catch on. Whether you're just a guy that does get fouled a lot, a guy that, deservingly the other guy heads to the penalty box or not. Referees don't like to be felt to be made the fool. So I'm thinking this is probably something that's unsustainable for Matt Murray, if in fact it's something nefarious happening, which it may or may not.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for today. Back to your earlier point though about the playoff series goaltending or just the goaltending and this team's defensive capability through a million injuries being kind of the key story. The shots were 28-28.
Yeah,
Matt Murray made one more save than Marc-Andre Fleury did, and that's an oversimplification, but really that game was close enough in any way you want to chop it up. I got the old fancy stats in front of me. It was pretty close in all aspects, and Matt Murray made one extra save, and that's what the Leafs needed out of him today. Now, granted, they also scored 4 goals, which has been pretty rare, but that was the difference. And you look ahead to, we talked about it yesterday with Kipper. What happens if this defensive play that they've had regresses because, you're playing Victor Mete and Mac Hollowell 12 and 15 minutes respectively, and you suddenly have 4 defensemen playing 20 plus minutes who aren't used to that. Justin Hall's played 23 plus minutes and I think 8 games now. If that comes down to earth, you're going to need more and more of that goaltending to come through. So I think they've got to be. I mean, there's no other thing you could feel other than a huge sigh of relief relative to where we came from with the goaltending discussion a month ago, 2 months ago.
100%. No, goaltending feels great. Defensemen, you don't feel great. You feel about the defensive effort you're getting from everybody on the ice defensively, including the defensemen. You know what I was thinking about? So, end of this game, and we're having a different conversation if Kaprizov does score that goal to send it to overtime.
We're not even on the air yet in that scenario.
Well, we would have been because the Wild probably would have scored immediately.
Yeah,
and the game would have been over. But Rasmus Sandin, Timothy Liljegren on the ice in the closing moments of that hockey game trying to protect a 1-goal lead, and it's not necessarily a situation you would have drawn up at the beginning of the season. Kind of harkens back, though, and I know you're forced into this situation. It's not like Sheldon Keefe and Kyle Dubas have decided, hey, you know what would be great if we get some of the guys, our depth players, our younger players, these reps in really important positions so that later in the season, if they're forced into those situations, they'll have reps under their belts. But remember, like Greg Popovich used to, he would rest his starters and the bench players would end up in these and it was sometimes it was nationally televised games and he would get his wrist slapped slightly, but sometimes those teams would actually perform above what people expected, and those players got reps that they might have not otherwise gotten. And if the situation arose later on in the season, in the postseason, they had those reps. They had done the work.
There's an example closer to home too, and it's what the Raptors have done over the last few years, and it's this question of how do you win while developing, because those things sometimes it gets chopped into, okay, you're a team that's trying to win a Stanley Cup or you're a team that's trying to develop for the future, and the teams that are going to sustain success in this league are the teams that can manage both at once. And with the Raptors, you had obviously the bench mob kind of taking these, okay, they're the 905, then they're the bench unit, then they're moving up. But another part of it was Kawhi Leonard missed 22 games the year that the Raptors won the championship.
Right.
And when Kawhi Leonard was at, Kyle Lowry also missed a big chunk of time that season. When those guys were out, that was the opportunity. It's like, okay, Fred VanVleet's playing a bigger role now. Pascal Siakam's the guy for this game. And they were obviously a much deeper team than this current Raptors that is, we'll get into that later in the show, but probably starting Malachi Flynn again tomorrow. But that's how you do it. And it's not, like you said, it's not the plan. You don't go into this season and you're Dubas and Keefe and you're like, how we're going to develop Hollowell and Sandin and Liljegren in tougher minutes. We're going to have all our defensemen get injured. But that's the reality you're in, and you have to take something positive from it. You have to use it as part of what you're building because you don't have a choice right now. It's